Like always, never fails. Never fails, bro. Never fails. There's always something at the start of the show. What is good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the After School Club. We got a couple of hot themes to talk about, but we're also in this episode going to be including some comic books. Like we had told you a long time ago, we wanted to include that into the geek culture. We always, we read them, but we never had a chance to actually talk about some titles. So today we brought a pro. We got Mr. Edwin from Edwin Comics with us. Everybody give Edwin a round of applause.
Woo!
Got it. All right. So, everybody, mi gente, how's everybody's week? What did you guys do? Migs, I like the background. Migs, at this week, everybody know we had picked Something That's Killing the Children. And he went to his local comic store and picked up some really, really nice pieces. I can't hear you, Mig.
My bad. My mic was muted as well. No, the fantastic thing is I was talking shit about you.
I'm so happy.
I did a whole thing of like, you muted your mic again, bro? Like, really?
Yeah, I'm so happy that shit happened. There you go, talking shit.
Anyway, like I said, damn, we're gonna jump right into the issues, bro. You're not gonna buy me a drink. We're not gonna soften the blow a little bit.
No, I want.
No.
You don't got them near you?
Yeah, I got them right here, yo.
Bro, when you had showed me that, at that point, when you showed everybody the pictures, I didn't know who the characters were. So it wasn't until now that I was like, yo, the fucking gold. I mean, you can show people the covers so they can see.
So I had already read a good amount of the issues of Something Is Killing the Children, but I had them in paperback. I didn't have the single issues. I had the volumes in paperback or whatever. But I hate, like, I don't mean to be a snob, but I can't stand paperback comics sometimes just because they get bent and they get all effed up. And when you put them on the shelf, they tend to get all floppy and all deformed and shit. So when I was actually in the Orlando area, I was spending some time with my son, and I think Selly's been to this. Selly, didn't you go to the comic book store, The Collective?
Yes.
So I dropped by The Collective.
Yes.
I dropped by real quick, and they actually had a sale going on, so I picked up this bad boy.
Ooh. Fucking épico.
Which is basically the hardcover of Something Is Killing the Child. I'm not sure if you can pick it up on camera.
Yeah. Eso es lo que yo quiero, pero cuando se acabe.
Yes. It's pretty good. I don't know if you could tell, but the hardcover has like this weird texture to it, like this weird engraving on it. And this is basically, I think, like issue 1 through 10. I could be wrong, or maybe a couple more, but I had to pick it up because I love hardcovers, so I had to throw it on the shelf. But then the last 4 issues, I had never seen these variant covers, and I was like, yo, I have to buy this shit. They are ridiculously good looking. Like, they're like sexy as hell. So you could tell this is the cover or whatever, and then
Jenny Frison.
Yep. Messing it up. And then each cover is literally like that. So like each cover, this is 23. This is issue. We all know, if you've been reading the comic book, you know who this is. Issue 24.
Bro. Cada variante de esa viene diferente. Por ejemplo, esa que tú tienes ahí en la mano, viene una así sin la máscara, una con la máscara sangrando y una sin la máscara sangrando.
Bro, they are sick. When I saw them, I was like, oh.
Y todas por Jenny Frison.
Yeah?
Jenny Frison.
And yeah, I got the other ones, which is basically this one and this one.
But we're definitely gonna get into that soon. Jordan, my man, what you got? Have you done anything this week, bro? I seen that you've been are you editing? Correct me if I'm wrong. You're editing some cowboy shit. I saw that.
So I was editing
Westernish.
I can't hear him.
I can't hear you, Jordan.
¿Dónde vayas?
Stay with us, please.
I can't hear you still, bro. I read the lips of the damn it, but no.
So we'll get back to him in a little bit.
Going to you, Liquid. Did you do anything this week?
Que yo no he hecho. Mira, yo he streameado. Yo estoy sacando fotos ahora mismo, por eso es que no me ven la cara. Porque el jueves, mira, mi tía está mezclando la fecha. El viernes tengo restock de dados en el website, so chequense esa pendeja. Pero he visto Umbrella Academy, por fin lo terminé. He leído los cómics, he leído un par de cosas. Obviamente he repasado todas las teorías de Stranger Things. ¿Qué más? Vi Te Odio Lex, maldita sea. I saw the bear. I saw the bear de una sentada.
My God,
what the hell is that?
The Bear is the show that I was telling you with the guy.
Oh, the cooking show.
The
cooking show. The cooking show that I mentally passed to you from right Florida, here, whatever.
Bro, yes. Connected it to my brain.
Yes.
I binged that shit. I'm telling you, yo, that show is so fucking good.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Man,
you're welcome. Lex y Miguel, cabrones, la pegaron porque yo me senté a verlo con Nikki. Oh my God, es que yo siempre la pego con ella. Yo cada vez que le pongo a ver algo, yo tengo que hacer que le guste sí o sí, porque si no fallo, me divorcia. ¿Qué pasa? Yo le dije, pues mira, vamos a ver esto, it's about cooking, I don't know, es bien caótico, fuck it, let's just watch it. En una yo le dije, ¿te gustó? ¿No te gustó? Y ella dijo, acaba y pon el segundo episodio. Y yo como que, okay, you like it, okay, la acabo de pegar otra vez, so that was cool. Pero she enjoyed it, ella dijo, pues, es que es verdad, las cocinas son así. O son bien horribles o son bien huele bicho. Tienen como que dos settings. Pero nada, he hecho eso y chilling.
I remember when I used to work in a restaurant. Yo, Miguel, everybody that's watching this, like, it's only 8 episodes. The episodes are really not that long, but it's so fucking entertaining. If you ever worked in an actual restaurant, bro, it is like, I had nightmares of shit that happens in that fucking show. Bro,
I worked in KFC. Does that count?
No,
bro, hell yeah, I remember that. Fucking Rush. I know I got some Burger King fucking scars around here too. Anybody that didn't work fast food or anything, bro, those fast food scars, those lunches, crazy. Santa Cana, can we hear you yet?
He's not hearing us.
He's not hearing us.
This guy, bro. Can you hear us? Are you here?
Hola. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey. World of technology.
Pero
you, bro, what you been up to?
So yo estaba editando un video con Danny Trejo, he had like a cowboy hat on, so that's why he thought I was doing cowboy shit. Pero I've been doing a lot of pre-production porque vamos a grabar en como 10 días, probably less than that, honestly. So I've been very busy doing that and just watching Star Wars in the background to keep my mind free, because it's a lot of work making a movie, and it's also a lot of things can go wrong, can go right. So Star Wars, at the end of the day, has been a very good way to decompress.
You've been tuning the Force.
Exacto.
All right, tú, Edwin, man, how's been your week, bro? Have you seen anything, read anything?
Sí, pues mira, ayer fui al screening especial de Thor, Love and Thunder, nice. Leyendo cómics, preparándome para lo que es el programa que era hoy, pero lo movimos para mañana para estar aquí con ustedes.
Gracias, mamá.
Thank you.
Estoy al día con The Boys, Stranger Things, con Miss Marvel, pues me he perdido el episodio de hoy, pero ustedes me van a poner al día. ¿Qué más he visto? Estoy disfrutándome la serie, el anime de Netflix, Bastard. Que comenzó nuevo. No lo quiero ver de una sentada porque me lo quiero disfrutar. Estoy dejando cada episodio por un día. Voy por el episodio número 2, creo yo. Si no me equivoco, voy para el 3 ahora. Que estamos en esa y nada, aquí con ustedes. Feliz de estar aquí.
Good to have you. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty, my gente. Let's get into these comics. Let's start talking. So we decided that we were going to read 3 comics. We're going to read Something's Killing the Children. Then we're gonna read the spin-off of Slaughter, and then we're gonna read Spider-Punk. Now, I want to start off with Spider-Punk since it was the one that had the least issues. I only read 2 issues. There's only 2 issues out, correct?
Yes. Sí, 2 solamente.
Sí, no sé qué pasó en junio, pero pues.
Yeah, only 2 been released. I read the comics. I thought it was funny to me because I never read any. I know the character Spider-Punk has been out for a while, but I really didn't know anything about him. So when he took the mask off, I'm gonna be shit. I was surprised he was black. I was like, holy shit! That's the first thing. Get the fuck out of here! What? I don't know what it is. Hura. I thought he was like British or some shit like that. That's why I thought. I was super surprised by that.
That makes sense. I mean, isn't Punk from Britain?
That's what I thought. So I guess it was like some Sex Pistols type shit. He got the
no quiero darte una clase de historia en estos momentos.
The story was fire. I like how you have all these characters that you're kind of used to already. You know who they are, but reinvented for new generation. They were over here talking about gentrification and shit. These stylings of Kraven and Taskmaster. I really liked it. What did you guys think about it? Let's start off con Edwin.
Pues mira, a pesar de que solamente ha sido 2 ejemplares, me gusta el tipo de arte que se está llevando en este cómic. La historia como tal me está gustando. Quiero ver, porque lo han mencionado bastante, pero no lo han mostrado, ese suceso en el que Spider-Punk, Bobby Brown, le rompe una guitarra a Norman Osborn. Sí. Quiero ver eso, porque lo han mencionado tanto. Me gusta que como que han creado su Spider-Man, por decirlo así, con diferentes personajes que actualmente van a estar apareciendo en lo que es las facetas nuevas del MCU. So, a mí me ha gustado bastante. No es un cómic aburrido tampoco o difícil de entender, de que te están desarrollando tanto el personaje que te aburres de leer, sino que tiene su acción, tiene su comedia. Spider-Punk, o sea, es un chamaquito. De verdad que el cómic estaba, a mí me sorprendió. Yo no lo estaba leyendo hasta que me dijeron, mira, vamos a hablar del cómic, y lo leí y de verdad me sorprendió. Pero como dice Lex, es un personaje que no es tan nuevo que digamos. Él salió en el evento de Spider-Verse por primera vez, en The Amazing Spider-Man, creo yo, número 11 o algo así. Luego entonces tuvo su one shot dentro de lo que es Spider-Geddon, y ahora pues el personaje ha pegado tanto que le sacaron una serie ongoing. Así que vamos a ver hasta dónde dura.
How about you, Sally? What you thought about it?
Obviamente me va a encantar todo lo que tiene que ver Spider-Man. You guys know that I fucking love it.
I was like, that's a calm voice for Spider-Man from you. I was like, muy educada para como nosotros te conocemos.
Está bien cabrón.
Exacto, muy bien, carajo. That's what we wanted to hear. Thank you.
Pues los que no conocen a Hobart o Hobie Brown, pues sí, he's also a Black Spider-Man. Y sí, obviamente, pues él es Spider-Punk. Él lucha por derechos civiles. Él, pues, he hates Nazis. Hace referencia a eso. Obviamente le está cayendo encima a Kraven the Hunter. Por si acaso, también Kraven the Hunter. Él es un drummer, by the way. Kraven the Hunter es un drummer.
Sí.
Y en el cómic hace una referencia de cómo they're gonna use his skin as a drum bass. Y fue como que tantas cosas, tantos detalles así, como que de la manera que ellos hablaban, para mí era tan amazing, porque era súper fluido. Ese cómic ha sido uno de los más fluidos que yo he leído desde hace mucho tiempo. Como que es igual como Something is Killing the Children, en el sentido de que tú lees los cómics y tú te estás imaginando la conversación al momento que pasa, o sea, como si estuvieses hablando con ellos. Es bien fluido, es bien action-packed. O sea, acá entre el issue 1 y 2 pelean 2 o 3 veces. Casi no han hablado, lo más que ha sido son paneles y paneles de pelea contra Kraven and his guys. Obviamente pues sale Ironheart, sale Hulk, sale Captain America y
Kamala también sale.
Sí, Kamala, verdad, thank you. Kamala también sale, lo cual está bien nítido que ellos como quieran ser. Sí, Ironheart.
Sí.
Pues por eso como que es bien cómico de que ellos como que todos son chamaquitos, se juntan y hacen una banda, porque eso es lo que uno siempre quiso hacer cuando era chamaquito, meterse en una banda. Pero en este caso es para, pues, ver qué es lo que está pasando, porque estos weapons están en esa área, porque están usando centers, like recreational centers, was it? Yo sé que estaban usando unos centros que son como que para community centers. Community centers para store weapons y hay una tecnología que ni siquiera Riri puede descifrar. So, está bien interesante. En todos los paneles siempre hay algo.
Sí, y entonces, que no se te olvide también, sale el Spider-Man también.
Ah, sí, el Spider-Man, sí.
Spider-Man.
Yo me volví loca, yo dije, wow. O sea, es que lo pensaron en todo. A mí me gustó porque lo pensaron en todo.
Sí, uno de lo brutal del cómic es como tal, es que como terminó el segundo ejemplar, pues van hacia Washington. So, eso significa que ellos van a tener diferentes paradas, nos van a introducir diferentes personajes de este universo 318. Y lo más curioso es, como mencioné, lo de Osborn. Osborn es como que el presidente de los Estados Unidos, pero 138. Y es como que Venomize también. O sea,
sí.
Y quiero ver ese suceso. No voy a estar tranquilo hasta que yo vea el suceso en que Hobie Brown le rompe la guitarra en la cabeza a él. Hasta ahí, bueno, no voy a estar tranquilo.
No eres el único, porque realmente como que de la manera que Cody Ziegler lo escribió y el arte está hecho, no sé, como que despertó algo en mí como que, ok, quiero que nos den más de Spider-Man, porque yo creo que es un personaje bastante importante, como que, ok, está Miles, pero también tenemos este Spider-Man que él parece como si no tuviese casa, el universo del está todo jodido, todo es super grungy, todo obviamente es punk, y no sé, para mí es bastante interesante porque es un poquito más raw, como que más...
Sí.
Es bien diferente. Y con todo eso, él mantiene tan buena actitud que te hace enamorarte del personaje.
You're muted, Lex. Again.
Again.
So many technical issues.
I think that's just something like universally through all the Spider-Man. They just have that young, fresh feeling. They're juvenile. And it feels a lot like how people were talking about Kamala Khan and shit. When I was reading Spider-Punk, it really did feel like fresh. Like you could feel he was a teenager. The way the artwork, everything feels like really, really fresh. Especially the contrast of I was all day reading Something Is Killing the Children. How the artwork looks there compared to it was just black lines and colors and here blue, turquoise, yellow. Like I thought that was really dope about it. How about you, Mix?
I dug it or whatever. Like I can only describe like the color palette as like disgruntled. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like it doesn't, and nothing looks too pristine, and nothing looks too like ugly at the same time. It's very like, I don't want to use the word edgy. Yeah. That'd be overusing it, but it looks very cool. I love the entrance of Kamala Khan in the comic near the end. That was very fucking cool. I was trying to read the ring. And I couldn't make out what it said. At one point I thought it said something like Biggie. I was like, what?
And like, Biggin. It's like Biggin.
I couldn't see. I was I think so. It. But the story's pretty cool. Like I have a gut feeling that maybe like or maybe that's too low hanging fruit, but maybe Osborn is gonna play like the record label president or something like that.
Sí, porque eso lo mencionan.
He might be playing like one of those corporate roles or whatever, and then the whole thing at the end where like they're getting in a van and they're gonna go to Washington, so technically it's gonna be like a tour.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's
pretty dope. I
thought it was pretty cool. Shout out to what's his name, Taskmaster, looking like he's from the Misfits.
The Misfits.
Sí, Misfits. Oh my god, yes, I forgot about that. Sí.
Jerry Only.
Yep.
That's the guy he looks like or whatever. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm curious to see like what the huge story arc is gonna be. You know what I mean? Because they mentioned that, like you said, they mentioned Osborn and the fact that he smacked him with a freaking guitar at one point. They haven't really established like a bigger threat except the technology, which they're alluding to is like basically like, again, it's stolen Oscorp tech.
Exacto.
And it was cool seeing like different interpretations of all these characters, whatever, Captain Anarchy, Riot Heart. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'm digging it so far. I'm really looking forward to like the next issue, see where it goes.
I like that little preview of Daredevil. This is the preview that is the.
I was just about to say that.
I thought that was fucking fire. That was really dope too.
Oh, y el título Band in DC is actually a song by Bad Brains, one of my favorite punk bands. Si no saben quién es Bad Brains, por favor vayan al Spotify playlist de Spider-Punk que Cody Ziegler hizo. Y
he made a Spotify list for the comic?
Sí, y está hermoso.
How about you, Santa Cana, of the issue?
It felt like a really nice 80s, 90s comic. Like when I read, for example, like when I read like a Chris Claremont comic, there's something, again, we don't want to use the word edgy because it sounds so ridiculous, but there is something about, I know he's not an artist, he's a writer, but like within the artwork in those 90s comics that I grew up reading and still do, there's just something that's like, it's like hard edges, hard lines that put you the reader, in this very specific mood. And I really loved that. And it's like, oh, this is grunge. Like from beginning, middle, and end, this is grunge, but with 80s neon. With that dug. For example, Craven's band, the Hunters, a lot of the wide shots, their silhouettes are purple. And I was like, I fucking dig that. Give me more of that. I really like where the story's going, and the dialogue is actually like, it's really fun. It's very comedic, but not like over the top Joss Whedon comedic where it's like calmate ya. This is it flows very well. So I'm digging the shit out of it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was reading it and I was getting a feeling of like Ninja Turtles and shit. Like I was reading it. Yeah, it felt like that, like those 80s, 90s cartoons and shit.
It's also the dialogue. The dialogue too, like it's very inviting. Ellos se hablan like literalmente como si fueran panas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Como un grupo de amistades que son amistades primero antes de superhéroes. So it's very inviting. It's very, very, you know.
I know I just made fun of Joss Whedon, but now I'll say one good thing. It reminds me of how good of friends they are. It reminds me of the best scene of Avengers 2 by me, which is the party scene, where they're just being people. They're not fighting super beings. They're just being themselves. Yeah. So I'm like reading this. It's like, oh, I understand who each person is. And it's only been 2 issues. I think that's really dope. And this is my introduction to Captain Anarchy. It's really dope that they have a native hero. Mm-hmm. Especially a native hero fighting Nazis. It's fucking dope.
¿Cómo ustedes se sintieron de eso? Like, they turned Kraven into a Nazi? Or a Nazi sympathizer? Like,
so at first I was like, this doesn't make sense because the Great War was against the Nazis. So I don't know why a Russian would be a Nazi, but then who gives a shit? Maybe in this universe, the Great War didn't exist. You know what I mean? Maybe in this universe, the Soviet Union is still a Soviet. Who knows? Maybe the Soviet Union never existed.
Maybe he's ostracized from Russia, so he switches over to the Germans, bro.
That's true. I did love that they referenced Nazi punks fuck off, because for obvious reasons for the past 6 years, it's been on a lot of people's playlists. So that was very nice to see it there. I was like, yes.
All right. So the other comic that we read, which I have been hearing for a long time, Something's Been Killing the Children. I remember when the very first issue came out. I read a little bit of the first issue, and then from there on, I haven't read anything until this week. For whatever reason it was, I never got around to reading the issue, and like, holy shit. I started reading, like, in the first couple of issues, I was already like enthralled into the whole secret society of what the actual House of Slaughter is.
The Order of St. George.
Order of George, bro. I don't know why I thought George St. Pierre when they said some shit like that. But yeah, the Order of fucking George.
Order GSP.
And I was like, oh, like the look so simplistic, and like Migs pegged it. The fucking bandana, like, I was like, yo, as soon as I saw the bandana, I was like, I want that shit. What? I want that shit, yo.
I started reading it. Yo empecé a leerlo, whatever. And I was like, hay una cierta ambigüedad de moralidad con los personajes or whatever. And like what it means to, you know, to be a monster hunter. And then the aesthetic of the masks and the characters of badass. I was like, oh, this is checking all of Nyx's boxes. I was like, I think he needs to read this shit like right now. Like,
the shit was so fire. The way this story goes from issue to issue, knowing that supposedly Netflix wants to see a show, they want to make a show. as I was reading it, I was thinking everything like if I was watching it, if it was the fucking show and hearing the dialogue. And there's a problem that I have a lot, that when I start reading a comic book, a lot of times I just start going from dialogue to dialogue to dialogue, and I don't sit down to just look at the art sometimes. So since I had, time, and I was like, okay, this is only 24 issues. I'll start off early and I'll have the time. And I found myself like speeding through it because like the way the story was picking up, it like you said, it was checking all my boxes. I was interested in everything. I didn't think that it was gonna be as graphic as it was. Like, okay, there's gonna be, children getting murdered and shit.
You thought the camera was gonna pan away?
I was like, there's comics, right? There's comics that I like. Like one of my favorite comics is Saga. And in Saga, they have the girl that she's a pink ghost, so she has her intestines out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. But fucking Christ, this shit was graphic. I was like, fuck, I'm feeling for these fucking kids getting, and not even just the murders. Even when they show to the kids that are not getting murdered, they got their tears going down their eyes. Bro. I'm so fucking scared. I was like, Jesus Christ.
One of the very few comics that while I'm reading it, I felt like uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, bro.
Uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable. Like this might have been the first one because after that I got into Berserk. Pero this, like when I started reading this, I was like, oh shit, bro.
Lo que sucede ahí es que Berserk, por ejemplo, Berserk, pues estamos hablando de personas adultas, aquí estamos hablando de niños.
Exacto, de niños, exacto.
Y eso es lo que como que la parte que pone incómoda. Y lo de Lex, de cuanto al cómic, pues a veces uno no puede disfrutar el arte. Porque específicamente Something Skillet de Children, toda la historia se basa en los diálogos largos. Eso tiene una sola razón, es James Tynion IV, que su manera de escribir es así. A cualquier cómic, él lo llevó a Batman y no funcionó, lo ha llevado a otros cómics, en otros funciona, en otros no. Aquí, por lo menos aquí funciona. Lo que sucede es que pues, tú tienes que como que, ya con James Tynion IV, ya yo tengo como que ya el truquito de cómo leer un cómic de él. Yo primero leo el cómic o el panel como tal, los diálogos primero y después me disfruto el arte. Y paso a la página, diálogo primero y después el arte. Pues eso depende del escritor. Y es él y Scott Snyder también es así. Sí. Pone mucho diálogo y uno pues si quiere estar pendiente de las dos cosas no puede. Y es como que leer primero la historia y después ver el arte.
No, I reír eso because like there was parts in the comic, right, where I'm thinking I've seen the author James. I've seen pictures and he looks so much like the character James from the comic. Like, did he just put himself in a fucking comic?
Yeah, I think he did take a little bit of artistic liberty with himself there.
Okay, so, dime, Edwin, what do you think about the series?
Pues mira, Something Skillet de Children es una de estas series independientes que yo les recomiendo a todo el mundo para salir de la monotonía de lo que son los superheroes y los mainstream como Marvel y DC Comics. La serie está súper brutal, como mencionaste. Esta serie va para Netflix y lo digo aquí, no me voy a cansar de decirlo. Esta es la próxima Stranger Things. Lo único que va a tener en contra es que, a diferencia de Stranger Things, ya esto viene con un source material, que son los cómics, y mucha gente, los fanáticos, quieren exactamente como se ve en el cómic. Es lo único que va a tener en contra. Pero.
Bueno, and kids die.
Sí.
Yeah, Stranger Things is afraid of killing kids.
Sí, pero esto tiene potencial a hacer eso.
Uh-huh.
Eso tiene demasiado potencial a hacer eso.
You have to. For me, when I think, okay, va para Netflix, the only thing I could think about is one of my favorite comics is Lock and Key. And I'm not a huge fan of the show because I keep finding myself comparing. There's good things that happen in the show, but every time I watch it, I just can't help to think, that didn't happen in the fucking comic. And it doesn't happen with a lot of other things. For some reason, with this, because it's one of my favorites, it happened. For me, I'm thinking like, okay, how graphic are they going to make the show? And the tone, because the tone, this is not funny. This is not the Umbrella Academy.
No, para mí, se tienen que ir full graphic. Yeah. Y sé que va a coger mucho backlash por el hecho de que, mi nene estaba viendo esta serie y veo que el nene lo ocuparon por la mitad.
Exacto.
Y porque ha pasado con anime, ha pasado con películas animadas de Netflix, que le dejan a los nenes viendo eso y cuando vienen a ver
el preview.
Ajá,
el preview salió y había como pedazos de un niño rodado por todo el piso.
Pero de verdad, o sea, el cómic está bien hecho, a pesar de, como les mencioné, lo de James Tynion, que hace mucho diálogo. Por lo menos, a pesar de que tenga mucho diálogo, la mayoría es importante. No es este diálogo como que no te lleva a ningún lado. O sea, es un diálogo o desarrolla la historia o la va moviendo o desarrolla un personaje, pero nunca se queda ahí. Que eso por lo menos pues hay que dársela. Pero el cómic está súper brutal y ha tenido buenas ventas. Te estoy diciendo, el primer ejemplar fue todo un éxito. El último que va a salir, porque ellos van a tomarse un receso en el 25, ya tiene sobre 120,000 copias ya reservadas.
Sí.
So que esto ha sido un palo brutal. Y me gusta la historia. Como
se está en el 23 y el 24. La historia se está calentando bien, cabrón.
Buenísimo.
Shit is building up and you're like, oh shit, cuando se encuentren, like.
Y algo que también que me gusta de esta historia que es que primero, nos muestran un arco. Y el arco está súper brutal. Y ahí nos van explicando, a lo que se desarrolla el arco, nos van explicando poquitas cosas. Luego que se termina el arco, que ya va para el cómic 20 o 21, ya que como ya te presentamos de qué es todo esto, ahora nos vamos a tomar el tiempo para hablarte sobre el personaje principal, que es Erika. Y luego de eso, entonces, para hablarte un poquito más de lo que es San George la casa esta y la sociedad secreta y todo lo demás, que poco a poco me gustó también que hayan diferentes máscaras con diferentes propósitos. Algunos personajes me gustó el plot twist que tiene. Presentan a Aaron y Aaron se ve súper brutal porque también los colores de los ojos y todo lo demás, y después de repente el personaje
crazy
y es como que
okay, and I was like, yo, ahí it was like that for me. Aaron was like the Eddie of this show. Like, I just met this character and I'm already loving the character, the way he talked, his style, like everything about it. I was like, yo, I can't imagine the live action of this fucking character. It's gonna look so sick.
Otras cosas que me gustó, por lo menos 3 cosas que me han gustado, o 2 que me han gustado muchísimo, es la parte de los villanos o de los monstruos que están presentando aquí. Por ejemplo, los primeros monstruos que salen en el arco, que son los oscuros, que son los
Oscuro type,
que son bien grandes y eso, es el miedo de uno. De ahí es que nace ese monstruo, del miedo de uno. Y eso como le da más realismo a la historia. Como tú dices, espérate un momento, pero como que del miedo de uno salen estos monstruos. Entonces tienen lo de los totems, que cada uno tiene un totem y tiene un monstruo que ha pasado un vínculo personal con él, que ahí tú piensas, ok, yo tengo una figura, y ya vimos en el spin-off que no solamente es un peluche, puede ser una pluma, puede ser una camisa, puede ser cualquier otra cosa, que es otra cosa súper brutal también. Vemos también el próximo monstruo, que es el que está terminando en este nuevo arco, que es el
Doppelganger, sí.
Que tiene una forma de humano, pero al mismo tiempo se esconde. ¿Sabe? Que de verdad que esta gente, la historia está buenísima. No sé el por qué. Yo creo que más bien se están deteniendo en el 25 porque ahora sí le van a meter mano a lo que es Netflix. Y luego entonces, una vez que ya tengan lo de Netflix ready, ellos van a continuar con la historia. Pero yo entiendo que esto es para algo. Something Skillet the Children es para algo.
And I like the different phases like we were talking about. Once the story was done with the first town, I didn't expect them to go back in time and tell us the story, how it goes, and I really like how that flowed. And then that story leads you into, okay, we're gonna have a spin-off. Wow, you can finish the story here, and then they go back with Erica. I like how they did jump back in time. How about you, Lico? What else did you think about the series?
Mira, yo empecé a leer este cómic cuando Edwin me lo recomendó. Desde ese momento me ha encantado. Ellos se cogieron un receso bastante largo, después se alargó más todavía por la pandemia y no sé qué. Pero, mano, me puse a leerlo donde yo me había quedado, que fue como por el 15 por ahí. No me acuerdo muy bien, pero era como por el 15 por ahí. Y, mano, cuando yo lo empecé a leer de nuevo, dije, wow, lo extrañaba y a mí se me había olvidado que Netflix iba a hacer algo con esto. Y yo digo que en el momento que lo hagan, tienen que irse full, tienen que coger el source material y pegarlo en la serie. Porque es que si no va a funcionar. Si tú cambias cualquier otra cosa, vas a cambiar la química de este cómic tanto que vas a hacer algo más mierda que Walking Dead. Yo diría que cuando esto hits streaming services o streaming service como tal, y la gente de verdad empiece a ver el merch, a hacer más cosplay sobre esto, pues ya yo he visto cuando la gente empieza a ver a conocer Something is Killing the Children, es como Edwin dice, este es el próximo Stranger Things. Y no, o sea, la historia es buenísima, es bien fluido también. Cuando te van a contar algo, es como que siéntate para que aprendas. No es como que siéntate y te vas a aburrir. Es siéntate para que aprendas, porque esto está bien fucking interesante. Y se la han comido.
Sí, y algo que llama también mucha atención es el look de ellos. El look de los personajes, el look de Erika, el look de Aaron, el look del Head Dragon, que es el líder del St. George, como dije, las diferentes máscaras, el personaje nuevo que va a estar detrás de Erika en este nuevo evento.
O sea, my God, what's her name though?
Cutter, que la máscara la tiene diferente, es acá arriba, y lo creepy que ella actúa cuando va a cazar un monstruo. ¿Se fijaron en lo que hace a las vítimas?
Sí.
Yeah. When I saw that was one of the when I saw that, I thought it was the monster who did it. And then you find out it's they're just supposed to be saving the children. Jesus Christ, that's graphic.
Remember what the dragon says though. You're a monster. Sí. You are a monster.
Like, holy shit.
Y eso es algo que me gusta, que por lo menos también es algo sencillo que también lo pueden llevar a la vida real, porque si no no recuerdo, cuando tiraron, yo creo el hardcover que tiene él, ellos habían tirado también a la venta el pañuelo.
Sí.
El color negro, que eso también, en cuanto a marketing, eso va a estar súper brutal porque sé que van a tirar los pañuelos.
I look for it. I look for it online. Está difícil de conseguir a un precio económico. Like, people are like scalping the shit out of a bandana, bro.
Yep.
Those bandanas look so, and it's like how everyone has said, the different colors to separate the different groups is such a smart. It's such like a world building idea. You just want to know more about it. Like, you could easily make a comic of just the dragons, the reds. Like, it's such a dope concept.
A eso es que yo iba, que ellos tomaron este concepto y lo hicieron tan sencillo. Es como que, el de los negros son los cazadores que van solos, los blancos son los cazadores que van en manada, los grises son los cazadores
especialistas.
Son especialistas, que solamente hay dos, y sabemos también que hay diferentes casas alrededor del mundo. Los verdes son los más brutales porque cazan dragones. Los rojos son como que los que facilitan las cosas a los demás. Los azules son los que bregan con tecnología. O sea que poco a poco, y las personas también se pueden identificar con ellos. Pues está cool como que, mira, a mí me gusta Something is Killing the Children, y porque sé que para la serie van a meter personajes nuevos que no presentaron en los cómics, pero es para eso mismo, para que cada persona se identifique, como Stranger Things, que es un grupo de jóvenes y cada cual se identifica con uno. Pues así mismo va a ser con los pañuelos, y va a estar bien nice cuando esta serie pegue y todo el mundo tenga pañuelos diferentes.
Oh, yeah.
Y ya tú te
vas, sentado en el sofá.
Ajá, pañuelos diferentes.
I can already see those Instagram posts. What?
All the stories. Los mad, they be black and white.
Oye, los cosplay. Tan fácil que va a ser un cosplay de esto. Eso es conseguir un pañuelo y vestirte con un gabán y ya, o vestirte como Erika, o hacer, ¿sabes?
Tengo una amistad que ella está viendo. Shout out to you. And she gets inspired sometimes by cosplay. She had never seen the comic, and her words are literally like, "Esto está cabrón. This is like inspired me for, I guess, another costume or something like that." But yeah, en cuestión de cosplay, like I'm dying to see people dress up. Nice little suit, little vest, little mask.
So easy, bro. the way the panels are put together, for me, it looks so cinematic. Like, I could see it so easily. I could visually see those panels on TV, the way they're going, the way the shots, the way everything was put together. For me, when I knew that it was going on Netflix, I like it makes sense that somebody would make a series about this. Because just looking at it looks cinematic.
Honestamente, no necesitan tanto storyboard, que cojan el cómic y ya.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It already look, the way it's in the comic already looks cinematic. I thought I was watching it already.
Y la serie tiene que ser a horror series.
Yeah.
Nada más y nada menos. Tiene que ser eso. Horror series.
Right. It has to be graphic. Like, the monsters like the monsters on the page look very dark, just like if it's a shadow with light. But like the things that happen, it has to be graphic. If this show is not rated R, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. So that's my fear with the series. I'm not. So I love this series to death. When I started reading it, I was like, esto se siente como like la última temporada de Buffy.
Mano,
donde el personaje era más oscuro y menos like high school feel, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So as I was reading, I was really getting interested. It reminded me of Buffy. Pero when I started reading the panels and like the severe dismembering of children, I was like, yo, this shit is dark. I was like, what the hell? And to me, ¿cómo te puedo decir? El mero hecho de que yo siento que la historia está bien hecha es porque los dibujos de los monstruos o como ellos perciben los monstruos no son bien detallados.
No.
In the beginning, they're solely, they look like scribbles almost in the panels. Pero the story sets it up in a way that you're like shitting your fucking pants, bro. Like, tú tienes una cierta cantidad de ansiedad cuando tú te encuentras con uno de, because you know the damage they can do y no hay piedad de que si tú eres adulto, niño, viejo, like they just kill.
No, y está nice eso también, el detalle de que si para un adulto verlo, tiene que hacer como un summon y solamente los niños lo ven, porque si te fijas, los niños son los más vulnerables a cuanto a sentimientos, en cuanto al miedo y todo lo demás. Esta serie ha sido bien pensada, bien escrita, cada detalle de ella es para eso.
La parte donde a mí me da miedo que Netflix lo está recogiendo, esto es una serie que yo sentí like maybe Amazon should have taken it.
Definitivo, I agree 100%.
I feel like Amazon
se atreven a más.
Amazon no le importa, like in terms of like gratuitousness, they do not care. As we've seen with The Boys and when Invincible, like they try to stay as faithful to the source material as possible, and they have no chill zone. Like they do not care about how violent things can get. I'm hoping, como ustedes dicen, yo espero que Netflix lo coja y sea súper fiel al material. Al tú cambiar nada más la edad de los niños, ya no es lo mismo. You know what I mean? If you make them teenagers, you know, horned up teenagers, it becomes generic because we've seen that over and over again. I mean, okay, disclaimer for everybody who's watching, we don't have bloodlust to see children getting slayed.
We're just saying, maybe.
We're just saying that the source material hits harder because it's children. You know what I'm saying? There's a great sense of innocence bestowed upon children, and the fact that these monsters, like, they don't care, they tear you apart.
It's like that. It's like that ick factor. And when I mean it, I mean the actual movie It. You know what I'm saying? It's different. If those kids would all have been 18-year-olds, they would have not been nowhere near as much sympathy. You know what I'm saying? As when you saw like the little brother George stick his hand into the fucking tongue again. It's not like you say shit. It's hard to watch because of the age. It's like I was telling you about that movie Dr. Sleep. There's a scene in there that has to do with a small child, and it's because it's a small child that's getting tortured in there that makes it like very uncomfortable to watch.
It's rough.
Como Dios manda.
También como ustedes, like I love the well, let me go back even further. I love every single character they introduce. Like from, you know, basically explaining the house, the different masks, even like Aaron's little like his bullies, Tybalt and Paris. Like they show you right from the back how you know Aaron is this he looks like a badass character, pero su niñez muestra que his vulnerability and his thing to love is his weakness in this, you know, in this grand pyramid. We all loved Aaron. Todo el mundo le encantó el personaje de Aaron. Y si lee el libro de The House of Slaughter, más te encariña con el personaje because they show you his struggle, you know, one thing he goes through in particular. I was a little bit confused with the time jump because I was like, okay, todo esto pasó. ¿Dónde exactamente? Like, I'm like, is this before or is this like when she doesn't see him anymore and then he finds her?
Hay tres. Está pasado, presente y futuro. Yo creo que en el futuro ya habría pasado lo de Something Skills de Children, el primer arco. Ya Erika había no, antes, porque Aaron murió en ese arco.
Exacto, en el 10. Él muere en el libro número 10.
Pues es antes es antes y en el mismo timeline de Something Killing the Children. Antes de Something Killing the Children y en el mismo timeline.
I think they did an excellent job of also, I feel que le dieron piggyback a un personaje nuevo en esa historia y que eso no va a ser, yo presiento que eso no es lo último que vamos a ver de ese personaje.
Sí, de Butcher.
Exacto, yeah. Yes. I don't think that's the last we're gonna see him. And I kind of understood that he set up like his own rogue school, right? With those kids.
Sí.
So I don't think it's the last we're gonna hear of that character in particular. Me encantó el personaje también del entrenador, la máscara azul. I forget his name right now. I'm bad with names. El que hace ritual. Yes, the character design reminds me of the butcher guy from the Wanted movie. Yes. Guns don't jam on you, puto. I like the trainer. I loved the dynamic between Jessica and Erica when Erica's a little girl. I thought that was very cool, very heartwarming. When it bounces back to the future and the way that Erica basically, like, she's this badass y ella tiene todas las herramientas para ser senda matona, pero también usa su lógica para salirse de muchas situaciones y como que buscar allies. You know what I mean? She kind of like, she knows she can handle stuff to a certain extent by herself because she's a black mask, but she knows, she's also smart enough to know that cuando se encuentra con algo grande, she needs allies. Whether they're disposable or not, she's gonna need allies.
Por eso es que en el cómic, si no me equivoco, es en el 21 que el líder, ¿verdad? Head of Dragon habla con ella por primera vez, le dice, yo quería hablar contigo porque tú, a diferencia de todos ellos, tú tienes un potencial de ser más grande aún. Tú tienes lo que nosotros siempre hemos buscado de cada cazador como tal, y por eso ella ahora actualmente ella no está asociada con ellos, y como quiera le siguen como que perdonando diferentes situaciones, y es como él menciona, ella es tan inteligente que sale de cualquier situación, ella sabe lo que tiene que hacer, si tiene que buscar aliados o utilizar cualquier cosa, lo hace con el simplemente hecho de, ¿verdad?, del fin de lograr terminar la misión que ella tiene.
Exacto.
Una pregunta que les hago, cada vez que le dan una cajita de diálogo a Octo, ¿a usted no se le paran los pelos? Like,
Mano, I love Octo.
Every time they give Octo a speech bubble, I'm like, yo, this fucking monster's like the worst. Like, there's a line where she says, like, where obviously she does the whole ritual. Y ella she binds with the monster and they put him in the doll. But he goes, ella le explica al dragón por cómo fue que ella venció al monstruo. And the monster says, like, oh, it was only a slip of the moment. I'm going to pick my teeth with her bones one day. I was like, holy shit.
Sí.
Entonces le dice, that's the attitude.
Yeah.
Igual dice, eso solamente fue una vez, fue de chivo y eso no va a volver a pasar. Yo le voy a arrancar la cabeza a esta y él, este es el espíritu.
So every time they give Octo a thought bubble, I'm like on edge. And then there's even in the later episodes, somebody else finds her. I don't want to spoil it or whatever, but somebody else bumps into Octo and can hear Octo talk.
Sí.
So I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, like what the hell is gonna happen? It's a good, I love the shit out of this comic. It's like a recommend for a lot of people, como dijo Edwin. O sea, si tú te estás cansando de la fórmula de superhéroe, de high and mighty, like this is a awesome read. Like I recommend this. This is like 5 out of 5 so far. Pick it up, support your local comic book shop, or order it online, whatever you want to do. But you have to buy this one. It's good. Y como dijo Edwin, los single issues están skyrocketing.
Sí.
They're really going up in price.
Y todavía no hemos llegado a Netflix. Cuando suceda eso,
that's gonna blow up.
And again, it's like we say a lot of times. There's so many like phenomenal titles out that are not being published by DC or Marvel. Like Miguel's a super fan of Boom Studios. I'm really into Image. Like if you're just following Marvel and DC, you're losing out on so many dope content, so many dope comics.
Por mencionar algunos, por ejemplo, del mismo Boom Studio está Once and Future,
Oh my God!
Tremendo. I haven't started it.
That's the next one we're gonna talk about, baby.
Tremendo. Ese cómic está súper brutal. Comenzó Do a Powerbomb de Daniel Warren Johnson. También está super nice. Hay uno que se llama comenzó recientemente, hace como 2 semanas, 8 Billion Genius.
Okay.
Read that. La premisa más o menos es que en el mundo aparece un sinnúmero de genios, como dice el título, 8 billones de genios. Cada persona tiene un genio y el genio te da un deseo. Ahora tú te imaginas a todo el mundo pidiendo deseos al garete.
Oh, shit.
El cómic también está súper brutal también. Otro que he estado leyendo independiente es uno que se llama... se fue el nombre. Es The Image y es como que... bueno, déjame ver si puedo conseguir.
¿De qué se trata? ¿De qué se trata más o menos?
Se trata de que esta joven ella perdió al hermano y ella tiene conversación con el espíritu del hermano y hay demonios como que cazando y que ellos quieren como que abrir un portal y el hermano le está como que ayudando a ella a que eso no suceda.
Okay.
Y es casi igual de Something Scary the Children, así de creepy.
That's my type of shit.
Sí, te voy a conseguir el nombre porque de verdad que está súper brutal también.
I mean, like there's a thing at the end. I haven't read comic books in so long, and it was fun. So at the end of every issue, where you have the previews of different other comic books that are coming out that are being published soon. Now, like shit, it's been so long since I've sat down and read comics. There's a comic, I don't know the name, but it was almost on the cover of all these issues of What's Going to Children. I think it was something about a lady with red hair, and she's like tapando the eye of like another woman. I think it's called Red Mother or some shit like that.
Red Mother, yeah. Red Mother.
That looked fucking interesting, and it looks like in the vein of the horror.
The Grimm, que comenzó de Boom Studio, ahora también es buenísimo. Tienen que...
Yo sé que Edwin is like a super fan of the Power Ranger comic books from Boom, right?
No, sí.
What are they like?
Yo sé que there's I could be wrong, but
they do shit the show. They do shit the show can never do.
Okay, yes. Es como que uno pues se amarra por la nostalgia porque pues ya uno creció viendo esto. Pero esto es una historia más hardcore de lo que uno ve en el show. En el show tú ves pues que son los Power Rangers, salen villanos, le ganan, el villano se convierte grande, el robot y ya, aquí no hay desarrollo de personaje ni nada. Aquí en los cómics es a otro nivel, entonces hay cosas que nunca sucedieron en la serie de televisión que le dan más hype aún a la serie. Bueno, ahora mismo van en el Legacy Number 98, ya casi llegan al 100 y se han creado personajes como Ranger Slayer, que es una cazadora de Ranger, Lord Dracon, que para mí ha sido uno de los villanos más brutales. Ese evento de Shattered Grid para mí fue el mejor evento del 2017 por encima de Dark Knight Metal, que era el boom en ese momento. O sea, no quiero darle spoilers de cosas que suceden, pero suceden muchas cosas, como por ejemplo todos los reyes se convierten en verde. Rita le tiene una trampa, no con patrulleros, con un ejército de Gordars.
Oh shit. That's cool.
O sea, de que hay diferentes Rangers nuevos, como los Omega Rangers, que existieron por mucho tiempo. Están los Imperials, que son como unos semidioses que pueden construir vida de cualquier materia y pueden destruir cualquier mundo. Hay diferentes cosas, de verdad que está muy bueno. Y está Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, que fue la primera serie, y está Go-Go es más bien desarrollando el personaje sin el traje de los Rangers. Me explico. Ahí tú conoces la historia de Kimberly, que los padres se están divorciando y Kimberly pues está conociendo entre un chamaco y Tommy. Está Jason, que él es bien sobreprotector con su madre, que algo bien importante que está pasando ahora en el cómic tiene que ver con eso. Está Billy, que lo tienen aparte porque él es como que él dice el nerdo de la familia. Zack pues brega obviamente con la discriminación por ser de color. O sea que hay desarrollo de personajes ahí. y eso pues uno le da como que más importancia a lo que es la serie, pues llega un punto que ambas series se unen y ahí pues tú entiendes, inclusive en los cómics no es como en la serie de televisión que tan pronto sale el Green Ranger, es como que el líder ahora de los Power Rangers, no, en los cómics es Jason siempre ha sido el líder y él es el líder por encima del Green Ranger. Y pasan un montón de cosas que están súper brutal. De verdad que si algo que les recomiendo así, Power Ranger, una vez que tú comienzas a leerlo, te vas a enganchar y te va a gustar muchísimo. Y el arte está súper brutal también.
Yo he visto que they do a lot of collabs también, que yo he visto lo de Ninja Turtles, que
sí.
Like switch the outfits, yo he visto algo de Street Fighter.
Sí, actualmente ellos hicieron uno con Justice League, con DC Comics, hicieron uno con las Tortugas Ninja y actualmente hay uno con Godzilla.
Well, so yo he visto they do like a lot of collabs.
That's gotta be cool because like the Green Ranger's Megazord is basically Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla. Yeah. Godzilla. How about you, Santa Cana, with that sexy leg?
Oh, baby.
Showing the legs.
I gotta rouge my knees.
What did you think about Something's Killing the Children?
I just want David Fincher to make 100 episodes at the show. Everything I'm reading, I'm like, is the most David Fincher fucking, like, the look of it. And I love what they do with glasses, where there's certain frames where you can't even see their eyes, and there's just like reflections. And there's times where you can see it depending on what the motion of the scene is. Pero I've only read 3 issues, but I'm digging it so far.
I think you're gonna like
it. You're gonna blow a fuse, pero de la buena manera.
I think so. I think so too. Like I'm digging it because like the kind of comics that I read is all over the place. Like I'll go from anything to like Saga to East of West to something like fucking I don't know Miles Morales. ¿Me entiendes?
Yeah.
So I like a big swath of comics, and I've never really read horror comics. So this one is like it's like horror adjacent. You know what I mean? So it definitely gives me that vibe. But Miguel, earlier you had said that this one put you on edge, as it did for me. It reminded me de un cómic de Batman con Deacon Blackfire que se llama The Cult, which is like the most uncomfortable I've ever felt reading a comic book in my life.
I gotta read it. I've never heard of that one.
It's so good. They beat Batman down emotionally within an inch of his life, and you see Batman lose in that one, and then have to climb himself up. It's fantastic. The artwork, I believe it's the guy that did Swamp Thing that did the artwork for The Cult, if I'm not mistaken. Pero está cabrón. Pero yeah, and verdad, I'm digging it, and like I said, I hope they can get a director that is as dark as like a David Fincher, ¿me entiende? Or maybe even el director de Dark, el show alemán, ¿me entiende? Pero I'm excited to see. Yeah, like so. I was saying about the Stranger Things for a PG-13 show. Stranger Things has rated R gore, even though it's PG-13. You could never put that blood in a PG-13 movie. You would get an R rating. Just like The Boys, you put that in a movie, you're gonna get an X, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that because television does not have an MPAA, and because television's gore, for some reason, they're allowed to go over the top. I'm hoping that will translate with this comic. That Netflix won't be afraid to cut people in half. You know what I mean?
I got a question for you guys, para todos. En una serie live action, ¿cómo tú piensas que ellos van a mostrar los monstruos? Do you think they give it a more, like, I don't want to say human, but a more textured feel? Like you can see details on the monsters? Or do you think they go the whole shadow scribbly route that they go in the comics? Like something
maybe
that's
I think
you can't make out details, because I think that's, to me, that's what gives a little bit more of a like a scariness to it, that you really can't make out what the fuck is going on in that, like, you know, you really can't make out what the hell is in the room with you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? When you give like a shape, when you give a shape live action, I'm wondering if they're gonna go a detailed route or if they're gonna keep it like, you know, shadowy figure route.
I think you could honestly split the difference. And to quote a movie that people shit on a lot, with Super 8, the way that J.J. Abrams films the monster in the first act, I think that would translate very well for this comic book because he only does it in shadows and shapes. In fact, the movie, people like the first tracks in the movie. It's when you see the monster fully that people are like, I'm done. This didn't do it for me. So I think we can split the difference where you show certain details, but you still keep it within the shadow realm, so to speak.
¿Qué ustedes creen? Edwin, ¿qué tú crees?
Para mí, pueden hacer un híbrido, pero me voy más también a tu posición de que deberían de darle textura. Deberían de darle textura y hacerlo un poco más creepy de lo que son en los cómics. Es live action, so ellos tienen que elevarse un poco más a la magnitud.
The way that creature looks, the way that creature looks at the beginning, the first one.
We can't hear you, Santa Cana? You can't hear us? Okay, he's having technical difficulty. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say the way that it comes out, right? The way that it presented it to the comics, I automatically kind of started thinking of like when the first time you see with aliens and shit, that it's such a dark black, but it's not like their skin is not like skin, you know what I mean? It has like a rubber feel to it, a latex feel to it.
Sí.
That's really flat. But then you see like the lips, you know, the lips go up, the gums, and you see like the saliva, like if they're just salivating, waiting to kill. I think that way I would imagine how they look. And the black to be like you ever seen that movie with I forget his name right now, the guy that plays Finn in Star Wars.
John Boyega.
Remember that he did a movie years ago where he was kind of like a teenager. I think it's called The Block or Attack the Block.
Yeah, Attack the Block.
You remember how black the aliens look? Like it was just like it didn't even look like a shadow.
I never seen it, and I didn't know the movie had aliens, so I just want to thank you for fucking that up.
But bro,
you
like
know within the first.
That's your problem.
Pero Miguel, you know within the first 10 minutes.
Oh really? Okay.
All right. Oye,
no,
tomando lo que dice Lex, fácil. Tienen la mejor opción para tomarlo como referencia. The Xenomorph of Aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, sí.
Es que es así, the way
especially the first one.
Ajá. Que la saliva, que tú los ves a ellos cuando esto, que siempre están. Entonces tú ves como que todo sudado, todo, o sea, eso es lo que deberían de hacer aquí.
Especialmente Edwin. Y Edwin con la primera, si te fijas, especialmente con esa, por los shadows que hacen.
Yeah, I gotta definitely like Aliens. What I really enjoyed is like how we were all saying that the monsters come from like the nightmares or the what these children imagine. So I like how different the monster was from this big kind of ant-like spider-like kind of creature to this girl that's in a hotel that's like afraid of pedophiles. So the fucking monster is kind of like a man with no face, and then where his pelvic action, his pelvic is like a monster's mouth that opens. Like
it reminded me of It. Of the book. It.
Yeah. The way that it was graphic, but how drastically different you see that these monsters really are created from the fears of these small children, and so how drastic a fear of one child is compared to the other one.
Sí. Y pueden tirarse por ahí también.
And they can breed. That's the worst part. They can fucking breed.
Yeah,
they can give birth.
They give birth. No, it was fucking bananas, and like again, how we explained the whole idea. It reminds me again of It. Like when you get older, you kind of lose something, so you can't see them. Like I can't imagine how terrifying it was. Like all these characters in that parking lot, they can't see the monster. All of a sudden, this little girl goes up and just fucking dismembered, yo. Like
no.
The way it kind of reminded me of Stranger Things. Like when the fucking, you know what I'm saying, when they go up and Vecna's about to fucking kill them, like nobody knows. Like if you're there watching, you don't know what the fuck is happening.
I read.
Yeah. Y eso está brutal porque el cómic, cada vez que tú lo sigas leyendo, tú dices como que, what the hell is happening here?
Sí.
What the fuck? Entonces tú dices como que, okay, ya esto está saliendo de control. ¿Qué carajo van a hacer para sorprenderme más? Oh, wait, hear more. Aquí hay más, como los anuncios. Aquí hay más, surprise. Entonces llega esa escena que todo el mundo está en el parking lot de la cancha y la arena ahí, toma cabrón.
Wow. I literally read that and I was like, I can't believe this shit. Like they're still gonna keep on piling the fucking body count. Like,
no, y después tú dices, ¿cómo carajo lo van a arreglar? Y tú, pero todo el mundo lo vio. How are they gonna fix this?
Not only that, in the ending or the arc of like the first story, I thought there was gonna be, there is technically a happy ending, but not even that girl comes out scar free. She comes out fucked up.
Bro, fucked up. This motherfucker had to take the blame for killing all those children.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, holy shit.
Tommy, even at the end, Tommy literally is gonna go to jail. Everybody's gonna think that he was just this fucking wild ass serial killer that was just dismembering fucking children all over the place.
No, it's a good read. It's a fucking fantastic read. Honestly.
Using this to move over to talk a little bit more about the spinoff Slaughter. That's also a comic that, like I said, I'm so happy that I started reading it at this point, at this juncture, that I didn't have to wait month to month to see what the fuck happened with Aaron. Like, boom, I read it. I was super surprised. I was like, I was just starting to like the fucking character. He died. Boom. Now I have this spinoff, and I'm getting to learn a lot more about the character. I'm getting to learn more about why he was, the way he was, a little standoffish at time, all these follow the rules. But he had this internal battle where he was scared to be alone. I really
his weakness is his empathy and his love.
Yeah, you get to see the other house. You get to see a little bit about how it really was in the academy or in the school. How we had skipped all of that for the most part to see how these kids kind of react or interact with each other. I thought it was something really cool. It reminded me of like what I wanted to see with the John Wick universe, that I wanted to see about the Continental and how the organization worked. Where I feel like this is our way to, open up those doors and get a look at how it runs within the organization.
Sembrando semillita everywhere. With each issue, they're sembrando semillita for other things.
Yeah.
So I finished Aaron's arc, and there's one issue out right now out of House of Slaughter with another child, and he's
the Scarlet arc.
He's just exactly. He's that's what they call him, right? Scarlet Masks? No. Scarlet Masks. Yeah,
the red one.
La roja. Exacto. So the Scarlet Masks are the one in charge of like keeping records of everything. They're the ones that keep order. They're the ones that, at one point, I think they explained that like they keep the house tidy and they feed the other members of the house.
Sí, ellos son los sirvientes. Ellos son los que para que cualquier cazador se sienta cómodo. Ellos hacen todo lo posible para eso.
Exacto. Y el primer issue, pues básicamente pasa con un campamento y lo envían a investigar. Se supone que él investiga nada más lo que está pasando. Porque todos los ataques o lo que ellos presienten con un monstruo tiene que ver con sacar de ojos, lastimadura de un ojo, like everything has to do with the eyes.
Y están más o menos como que las personas están diciendo que son ataques de oso, pero ellos saben que es algo más. Y eso yo pensé al principio cuando yo estaba leyendo el spin-off de Something Skilled the Children, que es House of Slaughter, yo pensé que era como que de Aaron nada más, pero luego entonces cuando brincamos a este nuevo arco, yo digo, ok, eso significa que ellos nos van a explicar en estos spin-offs todo, diferentes historias de todas las máscaras que existen. Eso está nice también.
That's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. That when they get to the emerald ones, like yo tengo un presentimiento que cuando él dijo dragones, él se refiere a que esas máscaras están encargados de mantener los líderes en como que en su lugar. ¿Entiendes? Como que si un líder se va rogue, pues ahí los emeralds son para los hunters, como que dice para los líderes.
Como Cutter, que era para los diferentes cazadores.
I have a feeling that that's what the Emerald Masks do. They keep the leaders in check. Sí. So it's very interesting or whatever what they're doing with this universe. Es sumamente interesante.
Sí. Puedo encontrar el cómic que le mencioné. A ver si se puede ver. Es este.
Oh, shit.
Nightmare. Sí, se llama Nita Hawks Nightmare Block. Entonces, lo voy a mostrar ahí uno que otro panel para no darle tanto spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
Y, como le dije, si te gustó Something Skilled the Children, más te va a gustar esto.
I'm writing this shit down.
Oh.
It's called what? Nightmare what?
Nita Hawks, aquí, espérate. Nita Hawks Nightmare Block.
Nightmare Block, okay.
Sí, The Image Comic.
All right.
Escrito por Rodney Burns y artes de Jason Chung Alexander. De verdad que está muy bueno. Y si te gustó Something Skilled the Children, te vas a familiarizar rápido con esto. sea, de que uno ve esto aquí y uno rápido piensa, fuck, the Cthulhu Man aquí.
Yeah.
Ah, no,
O sea,
carajo.
Es como que... Pero sí.
Like, you're muted again, bro. I'm gonna break the mute button on your mic when next time I visit you.
Okay, the kids, bro, the kids. How about you? I made them lightsabers today, so it's clack, 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 clack. How about you, Luca? What's your stick?
A mí siempre me ha interesado cuando hacen development de cosas así, porque tú ves cómo ellos lo preparan, con cuánto detalle y cuánto amor le ponen a la explicación de cada sección de House of Slaughter o St. George. A mí me encanta porque es eso mismo, tú te puedes identificar con alguien, tú puedes como que, ok, me gusta este arco, me gusta como que el vibe de este personaje, I'm gonna follow it, voy a hacer esto, voy a hacer lo otro. O sea, que tú te vas en un fandom total. Eren, pues, estaba súper chévere como personaje, no sé qué más añadir cuando, pues, fueron como 5 issues con él y básicamente pudimos aprender quién él era, la empatía, el amor que él sentía, pero últimamente, o sea, ultimately, he died. Spoilers, pero he died. Y es como que me gusta que le dieran como que character development, aunque el personaje muera, pero como que te puedes, eso mismo, like, identificar con algunas cosas que él dice, hace y el por qué. Y encima de eso puedes explicar su versión de cómo él está ahí en House of Slaughter, porque no todo el mundo es igual.
Esa historiecita no te pareció como que tú la habías escuchado en algún lado? Yo me estoy sometiendo a este grupo de personas simplemente para llegar al jefe más grande, para aprovechar mi oportunidad y matarlo. I was like, this came out before. I was like, this came out before. I feel like I've seen this story somewhere.
Obligado.
It's like, it's been done plenty times before, okay?
Okay. Don't fucking try to say Star Wars stole this shit, all right? Vamos a calmarlo. I thought that idea was like you said, really dope. I'm really interested in the Jace character, and again, I feel like this was plotted out so well in the timing of like them starting to make this show, because you know that if that character takes off in the show as much as he's taken off in the comics, that's an easy spin-off for them to just go ahead and make the world even that much more bigger. He kind of reminded me of when I remember when I first started watching when the show The 100 first came out. I saw the first season when it came out, and there was a character that was like this really cool fucking guy. I think he was like this engineer. He's working on the fucking spaceship in the moon. He comes down. He kind of looks like he's the love interest. He looks like the Jon Snow of the fucking show. And then like 10 episodes in, he gets knifed and fucking killed. It's like I got that kind of feeling on the fucking comic.
No te vayas así. El peor de todo es lo que pasó con Game of Thrones y el rey de House of Star. Es que, ¿cómo se llama?
O'Brien.
No. El rey. No. El rey de House of Star.
Stark when he gets his head.
Ned.
¿Sabes? Todo el mundo pensando que la serie iba a ser alrededor de él y de repente,
What? Bro, that shit was so outrageous. Santa Clara, did you get to read anything about that one?
Not the spin-off. And sorry, I just don't have my phone. I just a bunch of fires to put out to make the short. But I unfortunately didn't read the spin-off. I just felt I got to read more of the original series before it.
Very true, yeah. Very true, yeah.
I'd just be confused as shit.
No, yeah, around that, the second arc of what happens in Something with Killing the Children, it's going to really connect with that spinoff a lot more.
Wait.
Right, I got part 2 coming.
It was just the same girl coming twice, so say goodbye.
Yeah.
Tell him.
What's a nigga?
Wow, nigga.
Wow.
Fantastic.
She said it to the most Caucasian out of all of you. Like, I don't like that white guy. That's how we raise them in here. there's something that I gotta talk about that once we get to the RRR shit. That shit made me laugh. The subtitles watching that movie. And they were like, Mr.
But
Right.
did you like it? You liked it though, right?
We're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
I haven't finished it. I'm liking it, but I haven't finished it.
But did you get the twist? Because I don't want to ruin the twist for you.
The twist?
Don't speak about it. I mean, let's talk about that. When we get to RRR, we'll start talking. Let's not jump the gun.
Dale.
What are you guys talking about now?
RRR. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it a bit.
Exactly. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. Talk about it. So the next topic is Miss Marvel. Plus, I could have swore like I was watching this episode, and I did so much shit today. I had so many errands I had to run today. I came back. I started reading the comics. I started watching RRR, and halfway there, I was like, "Oh fuck! I didn't watch the episode today." And I'm watching the episode, and it was playing out like the finale. I was like, "Is this the last fucking episode?"
Yeah, I felt like that.
I kind of forgot, and I'm like, "How many?"
Was it emotional for you?
What?
Was it emotional for you? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I was just emotional today, but I was watching it. I had the fucking ugly lip. I was like,
I didn't get emotional with it. It reminded me of something that happened to me a couple years ago.
And if you got a train?
No,
when you were little? No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I went to this.
No, he's got superpowers,
bro. Exactly. Because I'm a dick. I went to this water park, right? I went to this water park with it's a small water park with just minimal. It's not like a big ass thing. It's like a couple of little pools and a fucking jungle gym or whatever inside. But I went with my daughters, and I remember we was all there, and I'm watching one, and when they were younger, they looked more alike. And el fucking costumbre a veces of my fucking auntie to dress them the same and shit. So we went to this water park, and I saw one, and I thought I saw both of them at different times, and I kind of lost one for like a good minute and a half. So that moment when he's like screaming out for his daughter, yo, my stomach was in knots when I was remembering that shit happened. I didn't get to the point where like I was gonna cry emotional, but that scene, whoo, yo, my stomach was hurting and everything watching that. Like I'm remembering how shit scared I was when I thought I had, like one of them had ran away or some shit.
And that's why I refuse to take my son and my two nephews out together.
Bro.
Like I literally, if I go visit Puerto Rico, when my son was living over there, I would take a day for my son or take a day for my los tres juntos. I'd be like, bro, I need to like pop a Prozac. Like I would be nervous as hell.
But yeah, I thought the episode was really dope. I had said it before. I was totally ignorant to everything that's about the partition. I really didn't know anything about it. To take it even a step further, I really didn't know a lot about India or Pakistan. So like I didn't even know, to be honest with you, I didn't even know that they were at one point, together, one country and shit. So it was super interesting.
Boom!
Such an asshole. You're such an asshole. I swear to God, such an asshole.
Again, people tune in and you learn things, right? It's not just
all bro. That's what we
fun and games.
That's the whole school thing. We entertain you and we teach you something at the same time. After school club, baby, every Wednesday. But yeah, like there's a lot of things that happened there that I was totally interested in. The whole little time travel type of thing where she's the one that ends up saving her grandmother. That got me a little emotional when she realizes that. I thought it was really cool, but as a whole, I really enjoyed it. And then the way it ends just reminded me of what Miguel said, that what he thought that character was. And
which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the friend?
No,
Kamran?
The Kamran.
I've watched. Villain. What do you mean? I'm a little. Remember, I've watched Triple R today and Kamal Khan's story. So like you're gonna have to like.
And at the end,
racist
he ends up getting powers.
Oh. Yeah, his friend, her friend. That's what I told you. Her, the one that the love interest.
But something went in him, so I was thinking that's gonna have somewhere a negative.
That's about. Yeah. I told Santagana that. That's literally. I mean, hay otras inspiraciones del cómic, pero esta historia se siente sumamente original. Yo no he leído. Edwin, tú que eres un poquito más versado. Esa historia del origen con sus ancestros y toda esa cuestión. ¿Eso está en alguna línea de Miss Marvel? No. Yo nunca he visto eso.
No.
Por eso me encanta el show.
En los cómics es más parecido a como sucedió en el juego de The Avengers.
Exactly, the Inhumans, the Terrigen Mist Mom. Or whatever.
Yeah. Kamala Khan dice, ella es Inhuman.
Yeah. So that's one of the one of the few things they took from the comic. There is a boy which she has romantic feelings for. He turns out to be a douche, but he has her same heritage and somewhat. He doesn't have the same powers. He just has inhuman powers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, wow, we're jumping way ahead, but I think they're setting him up to be the villain because now I think he's gonna hold her responsible for the death of of his mom.
There's only one episode left, right? The next episode is the finale.
Yeah, the 6 episodes, bro.
Yo estoy, okay, eso me está enfogonando, sinceramente, de como que Disney Plus needs to take a nuclear bomb to the 6 episode series.
Format?
I think that it's a terrible
formula,
format. But it hasn't worked. It literally has only worked once, and that's Mandalorian. It's the only time it's worked. So es como que like, bueno, y WandaVision. So it's like,
all right, thank you. Fix that.
It's each of these shows. Lo que pasa es que each of these shows with WandaVision excluded because WandaVision was a very slow build and I would argue a masterful ending. But all these shows, it's a slow build, and then the last 2 episodes is like sprinting to the finale. Yeah. Obi-Wan did that. I loved the last 2 episodes of Obi-Wan, but they felt stylistically different than the first 4 episodes because they're trying to get to their ending point, which is fine. I get it. Just give them another fucking episode. Give them 2 more fucking episodes. Like Stranger Things has got 9 episodes. Some of them are 2 fucking hours long. Now, if they're able to extend a TV show that was only supposed to be 1 series to that, I think Marvel can do the same.
I think they're afraid of the stigma that Netflix had, where people were like, this shit is 12 episodes and it drags way too fucking long. For some people, because I love the fucking Netflix series, but for some people, they complained about 12.
Bueno, I had one issue. No, go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
Sí, esto es sencillo. Disney, no importa cuál sea la franquicia, todo, lo único que le importa a ellos es. Ellos jamás y nunca van a darnos una serie con todos los episodios, jamás y nunca nos van a dar una serie de más de 2 horas. Jamás y nunca van a hacer nada de eso porque ellos lo que quieren es que tú tengas esta serie, te amarres y que pagues la mensualidad. Tengas esta serie, te amarres y pagues la mensualidad. Si te fijas, ¿por qué razón hubo de tener la serie de Obi-Wan? Porque si te fijas, cuando empezaron con The Mandalorian, ellos tiraron Mandalorian y después una de Marvel. Aquí, ellos dijeron, espérate, hubieron varias bajas en este lapso de tiempo que no hubo una y la otra, pero ahora vamos a hacer esto, vamos a tirar una, ya cuando esté casi terminándose, tiramos la otra encima. Y si se fijan, Miss Marvel, yo iba por el episodio número 2 cuando ya Obi-Wan estaba terminando. Y es por eso mismo, para que tú sigas pagando el mes. Y va a suceder así, van a seguir lanzando un montón de proyectos, uno encima del otro, diferentes franquicias, para que entonces tú te amarres. Si no tienen ningún proyecto, lo van a hacer con una película. Por eso es que viene Pinocchio para Disney Plus, Hocus Pocus para Disney Plus, vienen muchas cosas.
Bueno, después de Bette Midler ayer, vamos a ver lo que pasa con Hocus Pocus.
Hold that thought. Because I don't know what happened there, but hold on to that thought real quick.
She's a turf. She's a turf.
Wait. All right. So back to the series. You're done, Nick? You got everything you have to say?
Yeah.
Okay, Edwin. Edwin no lo ha visto todavía, ¿verdad?
No. Yo no lo he visto.
Pues te la vamos a spoilear hoy.
Sí.
Bien duro.
Just mute us, and then we'll when you see it move from the Marvel to the boys, you can unmute us. That's what I'm gonna do for Stranger Things, porque yo estoy en episodio 5, and there's it's already so much of it has been spoiled.
Oh, man, bro.
No. Part of it is my fault. No. Part of it is my fault porque yo hablé con Celi como que, oye, pues dime qué pasa, porque I didn't think I would get into the show. And yo estaba viendo el primer episodio de season 4, and I was like, God damn it, why did I message Celi? I'm into the show. So I made a grave mistake. But you know what? Now I know to love Eddie and hug him as much as I can while I have him with me. So
we're not there yet. Liquid.
Y te puedes montar la teoría de que Eddie puede ser Kaz.
He doesn't know about that. He's not in that chat.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna go fucking.
I'm probably just gonna watch Stranger Things and then just text me when you're done talking about it. I'll sign on for.
So Liquid, go ahead. How did you feel about the episode?
A mí me encantó en el sentido de que por fin explicaron, o sea, ellos me están dando todo lo que yo quiero, porque la abuela fue bien directa al grano, me gustó por la exposición de la cultura de ella, la exposición de la historia de Partition, cómo fue que pasó, me gusta el uso de, pues, la vocecita así súper, o sea, de 50s, bueno, 1940s, que pues te está explicando todo el documental, enseñaron pues obviamente varias. Gracias a Dios no enseñaron a tantos británicos, eso me gustó. Me gusta más que fuera como que la política local, con gente que estaba fighting the British, you know?
It's weird how that worked into us watching RRR too. That is similar to that time.
I told Santa Cana, I'm like, yo, fuck the British. That's how I feel this week. Like, yo, fuck you, Britain. Fucking white accents, fucking Britain,
fucking like, Caucasian.
Legit, mano, legit.
Yeah, it's like, no, me da gracia, ¿verdad? Porque en cuestión de historia tú nunca escuchas lo malo. O tú escuchas una versión de un suceso, and it sounds positive for one person and negative. But like, all you hear about Britain is like, you know, wonderful accents and tea and crumpets. You never hear this dark shit.
Hey, no tiene que ver con la serie, pero sí con lo que estás diciendo. En la universidad, yo tomé historia de Puerto Rico y lo primero que dijo el profesor fue lo siguiente. Y perdonen, ¿verdad? Si hay niños o si les
tira para adelante. Vomítate.
Quiero que se quiten lo que les enseñó Missy Rodríguez, Missy Rivera. Los cabrones españoles vinieron aquí a robar, a violar niños, mujeres, a asesinar. Aquí no vinieron aquí a crear cosas ni ayudar a los indios, a los taínos y todo el mundo como que.
They just wanted to hang out, Edu. The Spaniards were bored. The Spaniards just wanted some friends. Okay, I don't know what your teacher's telling you.
They want to chill at the beach. So let's go to Vieques. So, what you thought, Liquid, about the
hermano, me encantó toda la exposición que hicieron. Obviamente, como todo en esta serie, porque pues es limitada y aunque el script para mí es súper fun, no sé, hay algunas cositas que sí como que un poquito cringy and whatnot, pero yo las dejo pasar porque hasta ahora ha sido bastante chévere la interacción que ella tiene con los papás, especialmente lo que Miguel nos ha dicho de que la relación con ella con la Mai ahora. No voy a decirlo porque Edwin no lo ha visto, pero la May ya por fin lo sabe.
Qué bien.
Ya no sabe.
Ya no la va a joder más nada. Camada.
No, pero la May se guilla en este episodio. Sí, yo la encontré súper funny. De verdad, la encontré súper funny por unas cosas que dice. Eso sí que no lo voy a decir, pero no sé, cada vez que lo veo, mi esposa me mira mal porque me dijo, ¿en serio? ¿Se acabó? Y, mano, I'm enjoying it. Es como que el palate cleanser de la semana. Ese show que yo necesito para realmente tirarme del sofá and enjoy something, just turn everything off. A mí no me importa nada en el mundo cuando yo estoy viendo este show y lo estoy disfrutando un montón.
Obviamente, todos sabemos que Kevin Feige es el tipo, un brain super brutal y por algún propósito tiró Miss Marvel antes de, ¿sabes? Después de Moon Knight, pero para mí, en mi opinión, es algo que le está afectando a esta serie y me voy a explicarles por qué. Yo hubiese tirado mejor Miss Marvel antes de Moon Knight por el simplemente hecho de que tenemos Spider-Man No Way Home, que es un personaje Peter Parker joven, después va la de Hawkeye que introducen a Kate. Pues mira, vamos a introducir a Miss Marvel para que siga con ese flow de jóvenes. Entonces ya viene Thor Love and Thunder, tiene que ver con God the Butcher, tiene que ver con los dioses, pues Moon Knight, y ahí presentamos a los dioses egipcios, porque lo que está sucediendo es que Moon Knight trepó la barra bien arriba, y cuando traía a Miss Marvel, que es totalmente diferente, la gente al principio estaba la serie es para mí porque parece una serie de Disney Channel.
Todavía hay gente hablando mierda así.
¿Entiendes? Y no le hace justicia porque la serie es buena. De que, sí, tiene detallitos así, tiene cosas que uno da como que ese cringe, como que, ay, por favor. Y uno mira para el lado así de la pantalla, como que no. Pero es buena. Lo que pasa es que no le hace justicia por eso. Para mí, hubiese funcionado más, que lo hubiesen tirado, porque como no tiene ninguna conexión con nada, simplemente te están introduciendo un personaje nuevo, pues mira, tírala después de Hawkeye, y entonces pues aquí Moon Knight la tiras con Thor Thunder, y ahí pues tienes como una conexión. Inclusive yo creo que el Kunuchu, creo que se llama, el dios egipcio de Moon Knight, iba a salir Kanchu, iba a salir en Thor Love and Thunder y lo cortaron. Que entiendo yo, bueno, es que no han visto la película, pero van a haber una escena específica que yo entiendo que ahí es donde iba a salir él.
Okay. Ok, está bien. Ya, por si acaso no nos molestan tanto los spoilers ni nada de eso.
No.
Pero mano, es eso mismo, como que para mí Moon Knight no fue lo mejor, y sí, se sintió bien awkward ver Moon Knight después esto, y es como que they should have kept it with the rest. They should have kept it for the rest, y Moon Knight tirarlo en el verano, porque realmente ella sí tiene algo que ver con el MCU, porque ella está pendiente de lo que ha pasado en el MCU, mientras que Moon Knight te lo tira al otro polo opuesto, de que a él no le importa un carajo de lo que está pasando aquí. Que él no hay nada del MCU pasando, aunque a ella tampoco, pero ella sí está pendiente. Ella está pendiente de qué pasa con Captain Marvel, ella está pendiente de qué pasó con los Avengers. Ella está pendiente, aunque está en New Jersey, ella está pendiente. No es como que estoy en London, estoy en Europa.
Como que aunque está en New Jersey. What's that supposed to mean?
That's supposed to mean that Jersey ain't shit.
Trigger.
Even though
That's why you love this here, right? That's why you fucking love this here. She's from New Jersey. She ain't from New York. Shut up.
She was like, even though it has a couple of things bad going for it, like it's from fucking Jersey, but still.
Yeah. And one thing que no me gusta del show is that Jersey genuinely smells like trash. I'm surprised they haven't.
Anyways,
no, pero yo lo digo porque ella no puede ir a los monumentos, ella no puede ver a ningún otro superhéroe. Ella no tiene conexión con nadie, ella solo simplemente al otro lado.
Jersey is in Bumblefuck. It is far from all the other heroes. Nobody's doing shit over there.
That's why we make the best heroes, son. We from the struggle, son.
Bruce Springsteen and Miss Marvel.
Who the hell wants pretty ass places to go visit? No, we in the slums, son. She's from the struggle. She's from the bottom. Ain't no pretty casting for her in the beginning.
Y recuerda la escena de Capitán América Civil War cuando está Capitán América peleando con Spider-Man. Le dice, ¿de dónde tú eres? Esa escena viene también con Miss Marvel. La misma escena.
Where you from?
Jersey, bitch.
Jersey.
Brick City stand up. All right, you got me hyped for that shit. Now I didn't know that was coming down the pipeline.
Bro, I can imagine Miguel's house when he sees that fucking scene.
I'm gonna give you the Tiger Woods. The
Jersey. She just bouncing
De verdad que ojalá. Para que ella podrá estar pendiente, pero ella no está en el centro donde está sucediendo todo. So that's why ella está en Jersey, al otro lado del puente, así que mira a ver qué hace.
Otro lado del mundo of everything, all the way to fucking Jersey.
Pero I'm enjoying so much. Y la historia de la bisabuela, mano, como que, damn, ese puño, esa pescosa en la cara. Porque no tan solo ella está perdida aquí, ella hace familia aquí, and she gets attached, and blah, blah, blah. Y ella lo único que quería era estar en paz.
Yeah.
Ella lo único que quería era tranquilidad y paz. Olvídate si ustedes se quieren ir para otro mundo y lo que sea lo que esté pasando, el incursion, fuck it, I want to stay here.
I got my kid, bro. I like how I didn't know, like the first time I ever heard they used the phrase
pero wait. En este episodio hablaron de eso, de las incursiones. ¿Mencionaron the excursion?
No, porque en el anterior.
De que como ellos dijeron, they have a world that if they open the door, their world goes on the hair. Sí. Que es second incursion, pero no hablan de ese episodio.
Sí, exacto, no hablan de eso, pero
Pero it is. But it is an incursion.
They don't say that. There's nothing that's said. Oh, they don't add on to the plot of incursions happening here.
Okay. Oh, not in this episode, but in the last episode, they said that if we merge our worlds, shit goes haywire. That's an incursion.
Exacto.
But in this episode, they never really talked about it or anything like that.
Okay.
So we don't know anything new.
Pero hay un segmento, Edwin, spoilers. Hay un segmento donde ellos están tratando de brillar el gap hacia el mundo de ellos y tienen unos efectos secundarios no esperados.
Nice. How about you, Jordan?
I fucking loved it. I'm loving the show. Para mí, I have the opposite de Edwin, que Miss Marvel is here, and the show that he mentioned is
Moon Knight.
I didn't even finish it. I could not stand it.
Yeah. Moon Knight, a mí no me gustó Moon Knight. A mí me gustó Moon Knight. Yo lo que menciono es
a mí me gustó Moon Knight, ¿ok?
En cuanto al público general, lo que se vio en las redes sociales es que Moon Knight la treparon bien, o sea, la barra la trepó bien arriba. Porque yo vi hasta Moon Knight, los efectos estaban bien chippy. ¿Y qué clase de porquería es esta? Pero pues, es lo que nos está dando el miércoles, pues déjame verle lo que como. Para eso es lo que se ve Moon Knight. No
the first 3 episodes are just the same thing. I mean, the first 2 episodes of Moon Knight are just the same fucking thing over and over again. It's like como in Obi-Wan, where you have one episode where he's like, I need to distract Vader to save the people. And then the exact next episode, he does the exact same fucking thing. You couldn't just combine it into one.
I'll tell you one thing. Moon Knight had a lot of stuff that none of us really super enjoyed. But if there's something that show has, especially in that, what was it, episode 5 and 6?
4, 5, and 6.
4,
not so much.
No, not 5.
The end of 4 towards 5 and 6.
5 and 6 for me had some of the best acting performances in the MCU with what they gave Oscar Isaac to do. But you have to see that episode 5 and 6 when they show like the trauma, when they showed what happened to him,
the reason why he has the
reason why that personality was created, how it was used, how that initial time where he's supposed to go to the funeral and just like he doesn't have to say anything. Like there's no words that need to come out. You see in his
face, and his breakdown when he throws the yarmulke on the ground. That was nice.
When he sees, and during the whole show, where you can, it's so crazy to me that you can physically see when he's Steven, when he's Mark, like his face changed. It wasn't just his accent. It wasn't how he was saying. Literally, his facial expression changed compared, connected to who he was playing. That out of that show, I really fucking like.
Yeah, absolutely. He gave a wonderful performance. Oscar Isaac is usually, as always, is the best part of every movie he's in, including the Star Wars movies. So it's like it's Oscar Isaac, So I'm hoping it was just too self-serious for me. Was my issue with Moon Knight. It was just like, okay, they kept calling it. Never mind. We don't have to talk about that. Anyway, Miss Marvel, me encantó. It's like top 5 MCU for me. It feels like it's made by filmmakers. It's trying to say something, and it's got performances. And I'm like, but that's a step up of a lot of the MCU. There's great MCU picks, and then there's a lot of MCU films where it's like, we just made a movie. Enjoy. So it feels nice to see something so director-driven, which now on the flip side, Gen Z Marvel fans have been so accustomed to watching movies that look like a CBS TV show that whenever something like Doctor Strange 2 has good direction or something like Miss Marvel has good direction, people are like, why is the camera moving? Why are you doing that? Why does this look that way? It's like, well, no, because you've never watched a movie in your life. That's why it looks strange to you. So please watch movies.
You heard it here.
Me, Marvel is a lit Marvel.
That's the equivalent of like open a fucking book, okay? Read something.
It is
like
comic.
If you fucking complain to me, why is the camera like 360 around Doctor Strange in the scene? It looks cool, but I don't get what it's doing. It like go watch a movie, dude. Por favor. You're too used to medium shots on a green screen for an entire film. Let's go with something else.
When we need him.
Orengo would be a green.
He would have piled on to this elitist bullshit. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
But it's not elite. I'm kidding. But if we do compare it to something like Star Wars, in terms of Disney Star Wars, it's impossible to deny that Disney Star Wars is extremely director driven. The films are. So it's strange that Marvel isn't. That like Star Wars is so director driven that one director can come in and say, I don't like what you did, so I'm gonna make a movie that shits on what you did. And then the next guy comes and does the exact same thing. You can never do that in Marvel. So I do appreciate that Lucasfilm has more freedom for their filmmakers. Pero Miss Marvel, I think, and I was telling Orengo when I saw the first episode, I think that this is the true first step into MCU becoming like legit cinema, into becoming actual movies. Because this feels like the dopest 6-hour movie I've ever seen them put out in my life. Like this is, I'm loving it from beginning, middle to end. I've never felt this way about a Marvel thing since Infinity War. So I'm very, very excited about this in the future, and I'm eternally disappointed in the people that have been shitting on it because she's Muslim, and people that decided to tune out because it's like, well, that's a bunch of that kiddie shit. I don't need kiddie shit. It's like, perdóname, the MCU entirely is for kids. Get the fuck out of here. ¿Me entiende? So I'm pretty excited
or
for the show.
Or man children.
Right, don't call me a fucking child in here, bro. God damn it. Make my bread and butter about this shit.
But let's be honest. Just like Star Wars, those movies are made to sell toys to children. So for somebody to say, well, this is a children's show, that means it's bad, I think is a bullshit thing to say about a Marvel film.
Yeah,
I think same with Star Wars.
I think I defer. I think their bread and butter, they're shooting on all pistons when they're catering to the people that were children aren't attached to this shit. When they're catering to the adults. This show, I like it. I like it for that same reason. Like you said, they cater to the man children, but this is geared more towards they're trying to get new viewers with this show. Yeah, to me, I think they're doing a fucking fantastic job. But I do see the thing of like they're trying their hardest to get a younger crowd into like on this ship, so that when these characters develop into like, you know, they create more stories with them, they're already like hook, line, and sinker. They're invested.
Yeah. From what I've seen in research is Gen Z is not the most into Marvel as they would have hoped, which is why you're getting folks like Matt Ramos being invited to what are they called, premieres to make TikToks and all those things. It's why. Thank you, Screen. That's why when you go to por ejemplo, I don't know if you've ever had the misfortune of seeing a Marvel film in a theater con Gen Z, but essentially they're talking over it, they're throwing popcorn, they're just, it's a hangout for them. So I'm hoping.
I don't know.
Exactly. I don't 100%.
I don't hang out with those crowds. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, watch out.
I've had very unfortunate screenings of Marvel films where
you need to go to better theaters, sir.
Cabrón, yo estoy aquí en Puerto Rico. ¿Qué puedo hacer aquí, cabrón? Los cines aquí son una mierda.
Wow, bro. That entitlement down. What the hell?
Cabrón, los cines aquí son una mierda. Vamos a ser honestos, cabrón. Como que the projection is usually off. There's people talking. There's people screaming. Es como que this is.
We're never gonna get that Caribbean cinema plug now.
So time out. Before I jump into my opinion, I will say that I've been to theaters, and yes, there is especially with Marvel movies, there is a certain hype, and there's like you're gonna get applauses, you're gonna get people screaming.
No, yo no estoy hablando de eso. Yo estoy hablando de talking over the movie about other things. So yo estaba in Doctor Strange, and all of Gen Z was just talking about random shit, and there's like a scene that's very emotional that the person next to myself and I were like trying to watch it, and these kids were laughing and like, ¡ah, qué estúpido! Granted, eso fue en Plaza Las Américas, which is never a good theater to go to.
Ahí está el problema. Dos consejos. Tienes que coger la tanda más tarde. No. La más tarde, porque nadie deja a los nenes a las 8 de la noche, 9 y 10 y 12 en el cine.
¿Estás seguro?
Sí. Y dos, recuerda que pasó la pandemia y hay un par de cosas más. Y dos, tienes que coger los cines caros, como por ejemplo el de San Patricio VIP, Distrito T-Mobile. Ahí tú no vas a encontrar eso.
La de T-Mobile está cabrón.
Edwin lo dice. Edwin la visita lo dice. No, Miguel lo dice y Miguel es un poco de mierda, ¿viste? Miguel
Edwin got the complexion that we can hear that from. You're too white to say it. We don't want to hear you, bro.
Yo a veces, las únicas veces que yo voy a Montelledra, a IMAX o a Carolina IMAX es por un screening especial. Yo no pago ahí. ¿Por qué? Porque todo el mundo quiere ir a IMAX y todo el mundo hace lo lo que Jordan
está diciendo, los cojones,
gritando y jodiendo y
pero Edwin,
hace una semana yo vi una película y la tenían fuera de foco en IMAX.
Yeah.
Yo dije, no.
Pero Edwin, I live right next to it. I literally live 3 minutes de Montelledra. So es como que, exacto, so I could just go there. Pero I forgot that T-Mobile.
Viví 3 minutos de Montelledra, pero vas a Plaza de las Américas a ver Doctor Strange.
Eso fue because it was sold out.
Okay.
Yeah. Pero you know what I did? Since those kids were pissing me off. But since those kids were pissing me off so much, I said, I'm going to ruin your theater going experience too then. And I just smoked my vape the whole movie, getting stoned as shit, because it's like, you're going to ruin my experience?
You totally
welcome to the club.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that messed them up.
Yeah,
they were like, this movie is fucking crazy.
You totally messed it up for them. They were like, oh, yeah, this is great. They're like, I didn't even have to pay. I didn't even have to pay for Bud. I'm just getting smacked.
Yo iba a la gente. Esto no es 4DX.
Sí, exacto.
Para mí fue, cabrón. Yo estaba en una nota, like, because, you know, when you get high for a movie, by 20 minutes, it's gone. No, bro. Esto fue beginning, middle, and end. Yo estaba volando con Doctor Strange. It was fun.
I bought some shit and got high.
I have to do it at home.
But I'm watching that RRR shit.
Yes!
En ese día era Santa Cana and the Multiverse of Madness.
The credits are rolling and Santa Cana was like, this is chair.
Yes. Yo estaba bien. I was like, it's al punto. I had to go to the food court because I couldn't drive. I was too high. I got to go to the food court and sober up.
América Chaval abrió un portal hacia.
Sí.
Él entró por el portal, no fue a ella.
I could have sworn I met Sochi and I met Benedict Cumberbatch, but I guess it was just the movie.
But yeah, I bought, my wife bought some shit today and she put this little powder and I started drinking it and I got so, before this episode, I was so fucking hot and Miguel was like, don't fucking get stoned. And I was like, this ain't gonna do nothing to me.
I was like, we have guests on today's show. I would appreciate it if you didn't get stoned.
I never in my life took this. It was like pink lemonade Crystal Light.
Okay.
I'll show you later. I'll get the thing. I'll show you later. Bro, I mixed it.
Tú lo enviaste el chat de la muchacha. Eso fue. Tú lo enviaste el chat de la muchacha fue. Pero no se acuerdan en qué chat lo envió.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I sent it to the girl. I put that shit in a bottle and I shook that shit up. It was like Crystal Light. I drank it. I was like, yo, it tastes like good juice. Bro, I got so high.
Can I just say?
What the fuck? Are you high too?
Oh, no.
We got extra. We got.
Oh, hello.
Don't pop a titty out. Don't pop a titty out on my show, yo.
No.
She's high as fuck, yo. You should show me the powder.
Show me the powder.
You drink from the.
Let me tell you something. Mira, he is a lightweight. I'm gonna tell you.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody want to hear that.
Oh,
he is a lightweight because
Nick
Lex
got baby lung. That's what you got.
No, Lex is a lightweight. Pero este cabrón me dice, tú coges dos de esas bolitas, you're gonna be high, cabrón. I ate the entire bag and I was barely high.
You're so full of shit.
Mira, I'm like,
I think I had a bad batch,
bro.
honestly.
No, since when did this become the chronic fucking podcast? Like, all right. Anyways,
I mean, it should be.
En algún punto sí.
That's a second, bro.
Back to Kamala Khan. I didn't give you my opinion about the fucking show. I enjoyed the show. I thought what they did with the time jump was very fucking interesting. It was very heartwarming. Like, it's very I had no idea about the division between Pakistan and India. I had no fucking clue, dude.
Me either,
totally. Bro. That's why I told Nick, I was like, this shit is like, A, this is informative to me, and B, this is not from the comics. I never read about this in the comics or whatever, so it's both educational and entertaining. The way that it ends, I was literally the same way as Nick. I was like, what the hell are they gonna say for the season finale then? For the last episode. I don't know what to tell you. I think it's a great show. I'm looking forward to the finale, but I'm also looking forward to, will they use this character again? Because we all know the Miss Marvel movies, like somewhere on the calendar.
They put her on the cruise. They put on the cruise with Captain America and Ant-Man.
That's fantastic. I don't want to have to take a cruise to see Kamala Khan. I want to see another part.
Kamala Khan va a ser parte de lo que es The Marvels.
Por eso, pero, ok, mi miedo con eso. De la misma forma que yo sentí que a mí me encantó WandaVision, pero puedo entender que en la película de Doctor Strange, you don't necessarily have to see the show. Will they take all of this development, todo este development que le están dando, la van a usar en la película también? ¿O se lo van a pasar por el culo?
No, they're going to do what they did with Thor, which is
I don't want them
erase
to do
everything
that to
that
her.
I know,
I don't want
that's
them to do
just
that.
what Marvel does.
What they do in this show, what they did in this show is great. Like, it's very good character building, cabrón. Like, that's my fear now. Will I see her again? And will I see this version of her again? Don't give me a version of Kamala Khan that's totally different. This fucking guy with animals, bro. Jesus Christ. Can you focus?
Oh
my God.
We got cancer up in here. Look.
Anyways, will they give us this version of Kamala Khan in Miss Marvel? And I hope they stay true to it, and I hope we see her again because they did a fantastic
Nia
job.
DaCosta is good.
I agree.
Yeah.
So,
pero el hecho que tú dijiste que esto es mejor que una película de Tarkovsky, eso me suena un poco raro. ¿Escuchaste eso, Orengo?
What?
I can always count on you guys. Que han pasado 2 horas and you're still at the second topic. I love you all. I love you all so much.
You're welcome.
We like waxing and waning about the things we love, sir. Okay?
I know,
we're not like you.
I love it. Literalmente, I already rapped. I'm already bajando la cuesta. And I'm like, oh, God, I hope you guys are still talking about something. Cuando veo, you're literally just talking about the second thing. That's great.
Pero cabrón, eran varios cómics que habían que discutir.
That is true. It was 3 comics. Three comics. So básicamente we're actually on the 5th thing. So 4th thing.
That's not bad, actually. For our records, that's not bad.
Yeah,
absolutely. I agree.
That's cool. That's cool.
Well, since
with the boys,
we're talking. Where did Orengo? You want to say anything about Miss Marvel? Did you see the last episode?
Miss Marvel es el único que estoy mal. I haven't seen Miss Marvel. I can talk about the other things, but I haven't seen Miss Marvel. Sorry.
Right, so
and you can't talk about our art tampoco. So
no, but that's the last topic. So I'll stay quiet cuando pase esto.
Did you read the comics either?
The comics, the RRR.
No, the comics.
He said,
sir.
what comics? We're talking about comics today. That's what he said.
Yeah,
like, we have a guest with comics in his name, but we're gonna talk about comics. Okay, all right.
And I appreciate his infinite wisdom in comics.
Exacto.
Hasta este punto, sinceramente,
Edwin
was a comic book writer.
Yeah, before we go ahead, we're gonna show some. We got some images here because Edwin does have his own podcast. We talked about Edwin. Habla un poco sobre el podcast. Sí. Pues tengo 3, son 3 podcasts toda la semana. Por ejemplo, el que se supone que fuera de hoy miércoles, pero lo moví para mañana para poder estar aquí con ustedes, que es el Edwin Comics New Comic Book Day Review. Escojo 10 cómics de la semana entre Independiente, Marvel y DC y los leo y los discuto, les doy mi opinión. Ahí tenemos, ¿verdad? Variedad, tenemos 3 independientes, tenemos de Marvel, tenemos de DC y todo lo demás. El primero que habían puesto, que es Ponte el Día con Edwin Comics, es sobre noticias. Ahí pues te doy update de las historias que vienen por ahí, de los diferentes bochinches que se crean en la industria o cualquier otro suceso, cómo van las ventas de cómics, escojo las portadas de la semana y también te enseño lo que viene en la semana para que entonces tú hagas tu pull list y estés al día. Estos son los lunes para que te dé break. Entonces DC sale martes y todo lo que viene con Diamond y Penguin, que es Marvel, Independiente y todo lo demás, pues ahí tienes para esos días para entonces el pull list y ir a tu tienda de cómic favorita para comprar los cómics. Y tengo otro que es el Edwin Comic Plus, bien original el nombre, pero
it's like the Disney Plus version of the show.
Sí, este específico es hablando sobre series, películas, videojuegos y cualquier otro topic, siempre y cuando sea basado en cómics. Aquí pues yo por ejemplo de Thor Love and Thunder, pues te hablo de la película,
pero al mismo tiempo te doy key issues de dónde es que sale la primera vez, la primera aparición del personaje, cómo fue que se creó y todo lo demás. So, eso es más o menos la dinámica de Edwin Comic Plus. Hay otro episodio en YouTube, como por ejemplo hice uno de cómo tú cuidar los cómics, que está también ahí. Están los episodios Hablemos de, que es cuando escogemos una película y traigo invitados para discutir ella. Tengo uno de Spider-Man No Way Home, tengo uno de The Batman, y el próximo, que es la próxima semana, para que todo el mundo pueda ver la película, es Thor Love and Thunder, que desde ahora lo digo, va a ser uno totalmente lleno de odio.
¿Verdad que sí, Edwin? Dima, por favor.
Va a haber sangre, va a haber odio.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Bueno, va a rayar la casi cancelación y demanda. No te voy a decir.
¿Qué día es ese episodio?
Es el viernes 15. El viernes 15 y conmigo voy a tener a un colega que odia a muerte Thor Ragnarok, así que no se imaginan cómo él salió después de ver Thor Ragnarok.
Carajo.
I want everybody to just enjoy the visual of Edwin's background. How much more professional this shit looks compared to my cheap ass background.
I have to cover my background with an image because I have.
Look at bro.
Oye, espérate.
Wait, the OBS, and that's just a picture.
Voy ahora.
Bro.
Ahora.
Oh, there you go.
He made me feel so self-conscious about how horrible my shit looks now. Like,
ahora está.
At least
Miguel ya sabe, saca el mueble de ahí.
Yeah, we're missing the lava lamp and the bananas today.
what were you saying
over here over that? So we're going into the next topic. This topic, we're going to start it off with a small clip. We're going to talk about the boys.
So, where you guys headed?
We're just on our way to a Samaritan's Embrace retreat over there in Danville.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
This is Mindstorm's MO. He brainwashed them. That priest was gonna shank us, and she will too.
Whoa. Hey, she doesn't look brainwashed to me.
Take my word for it. Everyone's coming for us, everyone, every day.
Whoa, no! You have PTSD! You have PTSD, and you are super fucking stoned. All right? Maybe this isn't what you think it is.
Move.
She's a human being! A nun! And if there's one thing I know...
Die, you fucking
cocksucker! Oh my god! Do something!
You stay still,
Get off me! Oh!
And that'll be the clip that'll get us knocked the fuck off of YouTube right away.
That scene was so, I love the shit out of that scene. I was dying.
Shit had me fucking dead when I first saw that shit. I was like so outraged. Like, this fucking guy really does have PTSD, and then she fucking pops out. That shit in true fashion of the boys, yo, was so outrageous. It was so fucking wild.
Bro, I was watching that shit in the Airbnb, and it would have been like 11:45 at night, and the host was staying in the house.
Oh shit!
So
like, hey, shut that shit off.
No, I was like watching it, and when they popped the shots, I was like, oh shit, the volume, bring that shit down. He was screaming at the top of her lungs. I was like, oh god damn it, bring it down.
Después, coño, se habrá asustado. Me tengo que haber asustado full.
Touch.
All right, so yeah, with one episode left in the series, well, at least in the season, what did everybody think about this episode? Tú lo viste, ¿verdad, Edwin?
Sí, yo estoy al día, con The Boys estoy al día.
You like The Boys? ¿Estás disfrutando de The Boys?
De verdad que es de las mejores series que yo he visto, de verdad.
Okay, so how did you like the last episode?
El último episodio estuvo súper bueno, muchas cosas interesantes pasando y llevándonos a lo que es la conclusión. El final es el que uno se queda como que, wow, espérate. Esto ahora se pone más interesante aún con lo que sucedió al final. So, yo entiendo que para este último episodio, ellos tienen que cerrar en grande, al igual que hicieron con el season anterior. Que el season anterior tuvo que hacer acción de principio a fin. Y entiendo que en este, a pesar de que en este season sí hay acción, este debería de terminar igual que el otro. Creo que quedan como dos seasons más, pero son 5. Por lo menos este nos tienen que dar un par de cositas chéveres y dejarnos entonces con las ganas del cuarto season.
How about you, Sally?
Lamento decir que esta es la única serie que no estoy al día, por eso mismo, porque quería esperar a la que se acabara para verlo completo, porque esta es de las pocas series que me desespera no verla seguida. Porque en verdad como que it keeps you wanting more, aunque yo tengo mis críticas del show por las cosas por los tropes que usan y qué sé yo, pero como quiera me gusta. I really enjoy it. Es lo que siempre he dicho, o sea, el contenido súper adulto y que esté bien cabrón, que también sea a raíz de los cómics. Y en verdad, yo vi el Herogasm y hablamos de eso y a mí pues, el episodio estaba chévere, pero no me gustó que el hype sobrevendió el episodio.
Sí.
Fue como que algo totalmente normal.
De acuerdo.
Y en realidad como que, pues no puedo decir que no me gustó, en verdad. Estaría mintiendo si digo que no me está gustando y que ese glimpse al tercer season como que se ve más allá todavía, como que como Edwin dice que lo hace está mucho más interesante y es como que damn. Pero nada más, no, en verdad me gusta. No voy a decir más, solamente que pues cómo irá todo a acabar es como que la curiosidad mía y de todo el mundo, supongo.
Yeah, especially with that ending now to see what's gonna transpire between Soldier Boy and fucking over here on Homelander.
I have a question for all of you guys after we finish giving our reviews.
All right, go ahead, Miguel. You next.
I don't like this show. It really offends my Christian sensibilities. No, I love this fucking show. This show is ridiculous. Like on a whole nother level. I want to say like this might be their best season yet. Homelander as a villain is just like I detest him and I love him at the same time for what they've done with the character. Not because of his views, but because they keep on pushing the envelope with him every episode of how just despicable and miserable he is and how he wants to make other people just as bad, like just as miserable as he is. I'm curious because of the twist at the end of that episode. That's not in the comics, by the way. That's something specifically for the show. How that affects. I don't want to go too far, but how that affects other things in the show, how that moving forward, certain other character developments or whatever. Es bien interesante ahora tener el barómetro de like Homelander's despicable. You covered this. This was covered on another podcast I saw also. Like Homelander's despicable, but now with Soldier Boy or whatever, they're like están ahí raspando. ¿Quién es el más hijo de puta de los dos? And then with the revelation at the end, it was like, oh shit, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, huh? Like, you know what I mean?
How about you, Sexy Knees? Oh, you're still going?
No, go ahead. Sexy Knees.
Sexy Knees.
I was cut off. Sexy Knees, I was cut off to give you space to talk, and you're not paying attention.
No, it's because I want you to go. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How convenient.
It's que cabrón. I thought you were going to say what happens.
I was, but he cut me off. Don't worry. Go ahead, Sexy.
I thought you were finished, asshole.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sexy Knees.
So I feel that the show, this episode was disappointing because it didn't have enough Sexy Knees in it. It didn't have enough shots of Miguel getting shot in the face tampoco.
I thought you were going in a totally different direction with Miguel and shots in the face. I was like,
I think we're going to go boys over here, bro.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something totally different, but okay, keep it going.
Mala
Miguel didn't get MM'd.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're going to get my pop. Yeah.
Mala mía. ¿Ustedes llegaron a ver el sneak peek de The Rings of Power?
Not yet.
Nope.
No. When did this came out? When did
it came out today?
Must have been today.
It came out in the morning.
Yeah,
I didn't even know about that shit.
Okay, I'm gonna watch
but
it.
It's only on Prime.
I know.
Es que salieron muchos trailers hoy. Salió el de Clerks, salió el que iba a ser, creo que era Viola Davis.
Woman King. Woman King.
Se ve brutal.
Para que sepa, Orengo, yo quiero que cuando tú te refieras a ese trailer lo haga con más respeto. Eso no fue un trailer, fue una experiencia.
That's true. Religiosa, majestuosa, bella y preciosa.
Orgásmico. Es la palabra que majestuosa.
Yeah. Nostalgic feels. Yeah. ¿Verdad que sí? Peak.
No, pues en lo que ustedes hablan de The Boys, yo lo voy a ver y I'm gonna scream if I see something that I really, really enjoy, pero no creo que vaya a gritar.
Okay. Dale. We'll mute you just in case.
Dale.
All right.
So this season has been really good. I think that their handle of character on this, like Eric Kripke's writing has always been good from the beginning. He has incredible lines like "You're the mold that I scrape off my off of the ground and it comes back and goes, sounds like you got a moisture problem, love." Like there's always had good writing. I do feel that his understanding of character has just grown exponentially season to season to season, and it's really awesome to watch, and it's inspirational that somebody at his level can still become better. That's a really, really wonderful thing to witness. Pero this season has been so character motivated much more than the other seasons, and that's really wonderful to see, especially when it's such a blockbuster type of a world that The Boys inhabits, that instead of doing like fight scenes, they decide to just focus on character, to focus on small dialogue scenes. I'm not gonna lie, I cried like a baby in the scene with Kimiko and Annie, and I cried like a baby when Frenchie read it. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's like these people are real to me. You know what I mean? Like the way that Eric Kripke wrote these people, it's through they're real people that I know, that I've been hanging out with. They don't feel fake. They feel tactile. Like I could call them right now.
The Frenchie dynamic, like it even subverted my expectations, because I said to myself, "Oh, we're heading towards, they're gonna hook up. They're just gonna be an item." And when she basically said, like, the kiss felt good, but we're something more than that. Like your family now is just like, A, that feels kind of gross, but B, I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like,
Targaryen, bro, it's Targaryen in here.
Excuse me. Pues el teaser se ve en algunas partes, coño, le metieron chavo. Es un minuto, pero le metieron chavo, mano.
It's Amazon, si no le meten chavo, what the fuck did they waste their time for?
No. Pero cuando, si tú vas y ves el teaser, en algunas partes se ve que le metieron chavos, en otras como que estás cuestionando un poquito la actuación de los actores. Vas a juzgar. Para como nosotros estamos poniendo esta serie, para como nosotros como somos, vamos a juzgar mucho desde el principio, porque esto hace, le invirtieron chavos como si no, el banco fuera, no sé.
Yeah, they didn't care.
A ellos no les importa, es como que así $1 billón, dale. Esos son 5 pesos para mí. ¿Entiendes? Va a juzgar. Pero no quiero que por lo que yo estoy diciendo y que vayan a juzgar too harsh. Porque en realidad, para hacer un teaser y yo ver un CGI que parece de película, está cabrón. Y entonces el teaser trailer como tal va a salir julio 14.
It was just like what, a teaser, like
1 minuto y no sé, yo creo que es el teaser más hermoso que yo he visto.
It says yes, this shit is still coming out. You know that other series, Game of Thrones, we're here too, okay? No, I'm kidding.
No, pero el CGI de verdad, mira, lo estoy viendo de nuevo y yo digo que los prosthetic, el CGI parece como si estuvieses viendo una película, punto. Como si estuvieses viendo una película en un streaming service. You know que the CGI looks nicer, the shots looks nicer, no parece un show.
Okay.
En mi opinión, no es que esté blowing it up porque Lord of the Rings y I love it, pero es que literalmente no parece un show.
All right, and so Orengo, did you see? No, Orengo said he didn't see Miss Marvel, right?
No, I didn't see Miss Marvel. I saw The Boys, pero dame like a minute lo que salgo de mi carro. There we go.
Es que you're sexist, so you don't watch the show with a woman, you watch the show with the boys.
I love me a good old toxic time. You know what I mean? I like being with the boys. When I saw Clerks, I was like, yeah, that's a true story. That's a man's story.
No females in this story. Not in my America.
Exactly. Mira, Sal Ahsoka for like 2 seconds, and I'm like, oh God, please go away. Let me just be with Randall and now Dante again, please.
She was like, I believe in you. We know, bitch. Get out of here.
Yeah, no, give me like 1 minute. Okay, you got an Airbnb. So talk about like skip me or something. Give me a second.
So back to the dynamic. That thing like that really subverted my expectations. I thought they were gonna go down the regular route of they're gonna be an item now, and they didn't. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It kind of shocked the shit out of me. I don't know about all of you guys if you saw that shit coming, but I didn't. Or whatever.
I think that they're an adorable couple, and I was really, I'm glad that they went a different way. But I was sad a little bit. Like, oh man, I wanted you guys to get married and go to Marseille. But you know what? Now, Miguel, you're single. You can go marry Kimiko now.
Yeah, I actually have a date this Saturday, but it's all right. Go ahead.
with her?
No. A much prettier girl. How about that, bro?
So not the one that goes
getting
you?
points. If she's watching, getting points. Wow, son, subtle, be subtle.
Blush.
No one is prettier than Kimiko. So,
we'll see. Anyway,
mira, cheque tu teléfono. Que cheque tu teléfono. Gracias.
Se han fijado que una de las preocupaciones que le había mencionado al principio cuando estaba hablando de Something Scary the Children es cómo la gente critica las cosas cuando viene de un source material y no lo llevan tal como tal. En The Voice ha cambiado mucho a los cómics y nadie se ha quejado. El show es tan bueno, tan producido, las actuaciones están tan cabronas que nadie se ha quejado de eso.
Es como Miss Marvel, that it's like you're giving me a new story. You know, like I got into a debate with somebody que tenía un podcast y el tipo me estaba diciendo, when I watch a comic book movie, I want it to be a straight adaptation. And that to me sounds very boring. Like V for Vendetta, what I love about it is that the movie and the comic book are so vastly different that I can hang out with the same character in 2 separate adventures. So con Miss Marvel, con The Boys, you can have 2 wildly different experiences, but yes, they're similar, but they're different. And I think that is how you adapt comic books is you don't need to give Wolverine his orange and blue shit. Give him a fucking latex leotard 2000s outfit. I don't care. As long as it's good.
I agree with you now. Because now, if Miss Marvel gives me fucking a cockatiel, a fucking, if they give me the inventor, I'll be like, this shit feels so out of place now. Like, if they give me the half man, half cockatiel, I'm gonna be like, oh, cringe, cabrón. Like, this doesn't work in this world. I want him so bad. I want him so fucking bad, yo. And we're probably not gonna get it.
Or some shit.
Bro, leave the cockatiel out of this story. This story's so beautiful.
What if they just made it Thomas Edison? It's actually just Thomas Edison and not a cockatiel.
I guess I have to fucking, be satisfied with the 5-second shot they had of a poster of the cockatiel in the room.
Said, bro, that was the tease. There was a hair. The fucking people waiting for it to get the picture.
You think he's actually coming?
I think that eventually, but Marvel has this really weird fascination with militarizing all of the costumes. I don't know why. So I'm curious what that costume will look like. They'll probably give it like bullets or some bullshit like that, bandolier or something stupid.
Iron cockatoo, bro. That's what we're gonna get.
It's like even fantastic, Mr. Fantastic, his outfit looked militarized, and it's like, what are you doing? They should be wearing latex leotards. They're superheroes. Give them leotards, por favor.
Wow, he's even gonna grace us with his face. Look at that. He's gonna grace us with his face, but not with his voice, apparently.
It's también Airbnb. Tengo luz ahí. Like,
cabrón, this isn't a production. All we need is your opinion and your voice. We don't need proper lighting.
Lo que él dice es un buen punto, and I'm glad he mentioned it, porque it brings up an interesting debate de que do fans truly want que everything sea bien accurate al source material? Y esto va más allá porque también fans no tan solo de comic books, sino de literatura. Or will you sacrifice this if the story is so good that you're willing to dismiss those things? Y a veces es el caso, pero a veces también no, porque even when the story sometimes it is good, solamente porque no es fiel, a veces le caen a cantimpa. So it's very interesting que pasa eso en ambos casos.
I want 50-50. I want a great original story, but I would like certain homages to epic moments from the comics.
Yeah.
I would like that. Like, you don't have to give me like people hate a lot on Civil War, and I like Civil War because even though it wasn't the comic book beat for beat, it had feelings from the book. It had
even his mask, even Spider-Man's mask being half
oye, es uno de los grandes problemas que tiene el MCU. Hay cosas que funcionan fuera del source material y hay cosas que deberían ser de source material, pero uno tiene que ir aceptando de que, ok, esto no puede ser acá porque esto tiene un propósito de ser más adelante en la historia principal. Pues recordemos que ahora en el MCU es como que todas las películas tienen su historia, pero hay una historia principal por encima de todo esto. Que esa pelea la tengo con Thor, por ejemplo, como se está manejando ese personaje en el MCU. Y, o sea, es lo mismo también con las películas de DC Comics, por lo menos las que están en el universo extendido. O sea, a mí me gustó Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice. Para mí es de las mejores películas de superhéroes que yo he visto ever.
Yeah.
Mix, can you go ahead and take him off?
If it was lighter,
Orengo has his hands. Orengo has his hands perfectly placed so he can cover his nipples right now because they're like.
Bro, what? The fucking cat from Alice in Wonderland is just this fucking smile from here to here. So you
just can't see it because of the lighting. But yes, I'm just grinning, happy, so happy right now. I could dance like the Joker.
So yeah, Orengo, what else did you think about the episode of The Boys and the series?
El season as a whole I've been loving it. Este episodio también me gusta el reveal porque como ustedes dicen, if I'm not mistaken, en el cómic original, el contexto era diferente. I think they were lovers, right? That was the original context, right? So interesante cómo entonces porque claro, han jugado tanto con la dinámica de toda esta serie, que entonces reconstruyeron y reestructuraron como que la relación que tienen ellos dos ahora ser un father and something, which is cool porque it ties a lot en lo de Homelander que ha pasado a través de seasons. This whole thing about abandonment, about not having a family, about the being loved by someone, pero nunca ha tenido eso. It's like a reverse 11, where 11's being loved by someone because she was, she was a creation from a lab, because carajo. But like con Homelander, but he was also created in a lab, but no one fucking loves him because he's a psychopath. So, es interesante que ahora we have this dynamic donde tenemos like a father figure for him. Lo que pasa es que it kind of comes a little too late, no del show, sino que pues there's just one more episode left. So unless they start developing in season 4 esta dinámica, it'd be interesting ver dónde llevan esto, because there's so many interesting approaches que puede llevar con esto, que no sea simplemente, well, let's just go kill Soldier Boy at the end, or let's go kill Homelander at the end. ¿Me entiendes? I just hope they don't go that route y que either lo deje un cliffhanger o que termine con esta idea de que this is going to be resolved next season. Y que lo que quizás concluyan sea the whole thing about Compound B y ver cómo termina esa dinámica, porque pues we have now like a ticking time clock with the temporary B, que no se sabe qué va a pasar con eso, si, Butcher would die, or Huey would make like a noble sacrifice, qué sé yo. I doubt any of that would happen, pero debe haber una conclusión por lo menos para esa trama, que es la otra main trama que lleva desarrollándose. Pero lo único que estoy un poquito worried es que I don't know if like in an hour they can resolve all these plot threads, como lo de Kimiko, como lo del Compound B, como la cuestión del rise to power de Homelander within the company, lo de Soldier Boy, lo de Black Noir. So, son un montón de plot threads que creo que en una hora, I don't know if they can successfully navigate all of them, pero, The Boys no ha fallado. So, I assume que ellos tendrán a very clever way of at least satisfying and giving us a satisfying conclusion de muchos de estos plot threads, with probably some of them lingering for next season, que probablemente ya está greenlit, es que simplemente están esperando a que se acabe el season para tirarlo.
Sí, a mí algo que me dejó como que pensativo en esa parte final con la revelación y todo eso, que para mí eso va a ser otro plot twist mayor todavía. O sea, que posiblemente Soldier Boy quizás no sea el padre y le está jugando ese truco para poder encontrarlo.
¿Te imaginas eso? How pathetic. You thought I was actually your dad. How fucking
y es que el personaje,
daddy issues I could totally see him doing that.
Y el personaje se presta para eso.
Yeah.
O sea, la forma de ser de él se presta para eso. Ahora, si hubiesen imaginado que antes del reveal hubiesen enseñado Arrogance como en los cómics, que ellos dos se acuestan y después vengan el reveal,
Oh.
¿Cómo estuviese en las redes? ¿Cómo estuviese esa historia bien al garete de que, hey, nos acostamos, pero sabes que yo soy tu país? Y es como, oh.
I know.
That would be fucking crazy, bro. No sé.
Hubiese sido mejor que Herogasm.
No sé si han visto.
That's what Herogasm was originally.
No sé si han visto esta película de The Old Boy, la versión americana. ¿La han visto?
Yeah.
Pues ya saben que, ya saben a dónde voy. Pero de verdad que por lo menos The Voice está demasiado de buena. De verdad, esta es la serie que recientemente me ha puesto a mí a esperar el día que salga la serie. La de todas las series que han salido, la única que ha logrado eso es fucking Loki. Que para mí hasta ahora es la mejor serie del MCU. Hasta ahora, para mí.
Loki está cabrón.
¿Cuál?
Loki está bien
Loki.
Oh, Loki, yeah.
Loki.
Yeah.
So I got a question before we stop this subject. Let me ask you one question, all you guys. What's worse, a villain that's always been a low down, dirty piece of shit, or somebody who falls from grace and becomes a villain? Which one is worse in your eyes? Like somebody that does the unforgivable and becomes a villain.
La persona que no tiene nada que perder.
¿Cómo que no tiene nada que perder? O sea,
si tú no tienes nada que perder, tú vas a hacer lo que sea. Ahí tú te.
Son tus ojos.
Generalmente, como van las cosas, pues es la persona que no tiene nada que perder. Es la más peligrosa.
Yeah, what do you mean by worse? Because I always find it more entertaining to see a hero turn into villain. I've always liked that dynamic of somebody that was good and then something
between somebody that's always been the
but
fucking
crux. What
crux.
do you mean by worse? Like less entertaining, or they're like, oh shit,
no, like who's the worst villain in your eyes? I said the villain. I say you like him, villain, like the
Pues
fucking.
No. So I guess fall from grace is my answer.
Okay. Between somebody, exactly. What is worse of the two? Somebody who's always shown their colors to be a very disgusting villain, or a person who you were enamored with and then had a fall from grace and becomes a villain?
Para mí la segunda.
La segunda porque es la que no tiene nada que perder.
Para mí la segunda.
El que siempre ha sido el villano.
No, el que como que
pierde, okay.
Ajá.
Okay.
Por eso digo que Anakin is my favorite film villain because it's a legit fall from grace.
Orego's giving some thought. He's like,
I agree. Same thing. No, same thing. Yeah. I agree.
Okay. You guys might want to hold on to that thought.
Okay.
You talking about for the boys?
I'm just saying, general life. You just might want to hold on to that thought.
I mean, Homelander is also really terrifying.
I don't, man. If there's any show that could do the ending of a comic book, it's this show. Pero fucking Christ, the ending of The Boys is like.
That's what I'm telling you. So you know then. That's what I'm saying.
I know what happens in a comic book.
Which one is worse? The one that's always been a fucking disgusting fuck, or the guy that has the fall from grace?
Yeah. I've seen the comic, but I
oh my god. Okay, so either Huey or Butcher become the villains.
Oh, I don't know, but I didn't say all that.
I don't know because I feel like they've changed things. It's just like
I didn't say that.
It's wild events that happen in the.
You think Butcher's a good guy?
I said villain, like the antagonist.
How can Butcher have a fall from grace with how gross he is right now?
Because you can prop somebody
that's
up.
The problem.
He thinks that Butcher is a good guy. He's the hero.
No, because you can
Butcher all day. He's the hero of the story. Doing what you got to do.
You can definitely do things with Butcher, prop him up, and then destroy him. This season has been his. Yes, he's always been a piece of shit, but this season has been his fall from grace.
And
this
Huey
was the
as
level
well.
Of shittery.
He was already borderlining a shitty human being. Like you can't really.
Yeah, Huey is
prop them
just
up.
Butcher.
It's not something you can't really prop them up. Be like, wow, what a huge fall for them. You know?
Yeah. No, yo vi una persona hablando que Huey is supposed to represent how he's turning into Homelander. I'm like, oh my god, you're misunderstanding the show entirely. He's turning into Butcher. What are you talking about? He's turning into Homelander. You fucking idiot. It's Butcher that's turning into Homelander.
I didn't say
you guys
that.
need to be paying attention. No,
like some person.
Some random person.
Yeah, that person's a dumbass.
No, Butcher is turning into Homelander, and Huey is turning into Butcher.
I guess we all like this. We all like the show.
Yeah,
love it.
Everybody like the show. All right,
absolutely love it.
So to continue, we're gonna go with our next topic, which is Stranger Things.
Text me when you're done. Okay.
I'll text you when we're done. We're gonna talk about Stranger Things.
I'm gonna go watch it right now.
Go ahead. We'll let you know when we're done. With what Stranger Things gave to us, I think, in the fashion of putting out content that we're probably going to get banned for, I think there was only one scene reasonably to put for Stranger Things.
Chrissy, this is from you.
Bro, like, I remember.
You want to lose your social medias por completo? ¿Qué esperas? YouTube, to Facebook? You want to lose it all? Like, bro, what the hell's wrong?
Universal Records has handed you a cease and desist as we speak.
You're like testing it at this point. You just tested this shit.
I got another one. Since the trailer came out for this season, not part B, but part A, I said as soon as we saw the trailer, I was like, I'm gonna like that fucking scene. I was waiting for that scene to happen in the first part of season 4. But I was like, yo, when that scene happens, I just know that it's gonna be dope as fuck. And that shit did not fail me. That scene in its completeness was so fucking dope. Much like the rest of the season. For me, the ending of this season, I think I have spoke to my girl. I think I cried like a bitch like 4 times. I think it was like four times that I was just like, I remember seeing 11 fight Vecna, and when I look, it was like there's 40 minutes. There's 40 minutes. What the fuck? Like, this shit at the end is 40 minutes. What else could happen? As the episode continued, I was like I was literally because like during the whole promoting the series, people kept saying Game of Thrones, Bloodbath. I'm like, oh shit, like who's gonna die? Who's gonna die? From the get, we was like, Steve or Eddie is gonna catch it. We already, we had said that numerous times, but they were like, okay, more than one person was gonna die. When Eddie's scene came, and that shit broke me. Even like I had said multiple times, every Wednesday, Eddie's gonna die. Even feeling like I know Eddie was gonna die, that didn't help at all. Like when the actual scene came out, yo, fucking balling, bro. Showers. At I don't want to, mention everything. So what else did you guys, Edwin? How did you like the ending?
Mano, este season 4, el volumen 1 y el volumen 2 han quedado extremadamente cabrones. Ellos como que al principio tenían como una base, luego en el segundo y el tercer season empezaron a desarrollar personajes, a traer personajes nuevos como más, entre otros, y se fueron viendo poco a poco a lo que era la historia principal, que era este Upside Down World, 11, el laboratorio y todo lo demás. Ahora, viendo esto y cómo lo que posiblemente suceda en la quinta temporada, de verdad que estuvo demasiado de cabrón. O sea, la tonalidad que le metieron, esa escena con Eddie. Yo me recuerdo que yo me levanté, yo trabajo a madrugada, me levanto bien temprano y en mis días libres. Y yo veo que alguien como que había subido un post como que, esta escena, yo espero que no me decepcione en el soundtrack. Porque si recuerdan, en el volumen 1, pues, utilizaron también un buen soundtrack.
Sí.
Cuando yo empiezo a escuchar Puppet Master of Puppets. Yo dije, no, porque esta gente le metieron un Metallica aquí. Y de verdad que la escena quedó extremadamente cabrona. Para mí fue de las mejores escenas en todas las temporadas. Es esa. Hay algo como que que también me gustó mucho en esta temporada. Llega como que un acto en que tú ves las diferentes historias, como todos los héroes están perdiendo. Y tú dices, puñeta, ¿cómo va a terminar esto? Entonces, estás con el rumor de que en las redes sociales, 5 personajes van a morir ahora.
Uh-huh.
Y dices, aquí es el momento, ¿quién carajo se va a ir? Y tú ves como que y van perdiendo, y llega un punto de que ya no hay escapatoria y ¡boom! aparece una escapatoria y como que todo se conecta y todos pueden como que salir de y yo, puñeta, sí, puñeta, todos vivieron, todos lo pudieron hacerlo. El villano, Vecna, demasiado de cabrón. Y la manera en que enseñan, ¿sabes? Por eso yo digo que Something is Created the Children, pues la van a hacer bien. Porque si ellos pudieron hacer esto, y la manera, óyeme, fue bien fuerte la manera en que Berna cogía a sus víctimas y las mataba.
Sí.
Eso parece un fucking exorcismo.
Yeah.
O sea, se le escuchaban los huesos, la forma en que los ojos como que se le viraban. O sea, está súper cabrón. Estoy loco porque ven el quinto season y Will es el que tiene el peinado bien feo, ¿verdad? Que el barbero no lo quiere.
El peinado de Dumb and Dumber.
Ese cabrón siempre ha sido el malo.
Do you think he's the bad one?
Sí.
You never trust somebody with a bowl haircut. Never.
Y ese triángulo amoroso que hay de que Will con este
Mike.
otro muchacho, con Mike y Leven, ahí es que se van a aprovechar, o sea, porque Bernard, nosotros lo vimos que estaba todo jodido, pero se fue. No estaba allí. Y ya se abrió entonces el portal de los Four Gates y todo eso, que para mí, o sea, para hacerlo más cabrón todavía, él tiene que ser el villano en la quinta temporada.
I think, como dijo Edwin, it was really crazy to see how Vecna was killing his villains. But I think it felt so different when you saw him doing it to strangers, basically characters that you didn't know, versus when he was doing it to Max. Like when that first crack, I was like, oh my fucking, there's no turning back.
I was upset. I was like, why didn't you let her survive then if you're gonna do this shit to her? What the fuck? I was like, why? Why did you make us go through that? If you would have just killed her right there.
Bro, when those bones started cracking, Carlos said, there's a character that you know, and that this season you've learned to love. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
That's why they did it too. Because they were like, they gave you the false sense of hope of like, we won't touch her because we've already put her in that position. We won't put her in that position. And when they started putting her in that position again, you're like, she's gonna be fine. She'll fucking listen to another Kate Bush song and she'll get the fuck out of there. That's exactly
what I thought. I was
like, they'll just hit next on the tape and we'll hear another one.
I thought it was gonna get real cheesy. I was like, oh, it's broken. He's gonna have to start singing the song. I was start singing the song, bro.
No, y lo más cabrón que mientras sucede eso, ella, clack. Y shit, another music.
She only got two left. What's going on? Oh my God.
How about you, Sally?
Pues, mano, obviamente yo me lo comí de principio a fin. Estaba aterrizando un montón de cosas. Muchas de ellas eran culpa mía, pues, por la influencia de D&D. Pero, mano, me cayó falta. Me hizo recordar tantas cosas que me gustan de los 80, especialmente todas las películas que a mí me encantan de esa época. Freddy Krueger, obviamente, volumen 1, volumen 2. Ellos hicieron un Boiler Room, más o menos igual. The thing about Vecna, obvio, I fucking love that character. Campbell, I forgot his first name, pero Campbell, el actor que hace de Vecna, se la comió full. Yo también escuché cuando él estaba haciendo el voiceover, cómo él estaba haciendo la voz. Y mano, eso estaba brutal porque se le veía como que la actuación de villano que le metió dedicación full.
Sí.
Y se sintió tan ¿cómo sería? Tan frightening cuando tú nada más lo estás escuchando en el voice booth. Me encantó, de verdad. Pues tenemos a Eddie, maldita sea, otro personaje más que nos encariñamos con él y nos matan. Rest in peace Bob, Billy. No, Billy no tanto. Alexi, pues ahora Eri, pero él fue el mejor el que mejor tuvo un arco en cuestión de todos esos personajes que nos encariñamos y los matan. Es el mejor que tiene un arco. Obviamente Master of Puppets, por favor. La gente que se está quejando porque es Master of Puppets, no sé, mano. Hablen con Santa Cana. Hablen con Santa Cana porque él te va a decir lo que él va a hacer. Él quiere que tú le hagas.
Yo te voy a hablar claro. I mean, I love Metallica and I think it's a great song. I felt like it was easy, an easy song to put in that thing. Like I would have expected something out of left field. You could put that song anywhere and it makes it an epic ass moment. So I thought that song era como que un chirirín, no quiero decir mainstream, because Metallica, like, they're way bigger now. You know, I mean, they're more known amongst, like, people who don't even listen to rock, that people know what Metallica is. You know what I mean?
Yo creo que... dale.
So, like, to pick that song, I felt like, coño, it's a little bit too easy. I would have, like, preferred to hear something else a little bit, I don't know, like Iron Maiden, like Orengo had said, or something a little bit left field. Pero it still fucking works. That shit still slaps hard in that segment. It works it works perfectly.
Pero esa es la cuestión, ¿sabes? Como que ¿qué canción más grande de 1986 que Master of Puppets? Ese es el problema, porque la canción y la banda han pasado a un estatus tan legendario que te vas a sentir como que, okay, that's a cop out, pero al mismo tiempo hay que, o sea, lo estamos apreciando porque, coño, esa canción, like, that one, la que hizo que...
They could have used, like, Raining Blood by Slayer. That shit would have been crazy. Sí. That shit would have been insane, like...
Lo único malo es que ellos están en marzo de 1986, esa canción salió en agosto, en septiembre del 86. Ese fue el problema. Aunque ellos, como yo estaba diciendo en uno de los chats de nosotros, que ellos se tiraron lo de Vecna. Vecna sí ha sido mencionado en libros anteriores de D&D, bueno, por lo menos en primera edición, antes de que saliera para segunda edición en 1990, por lo menos el módulo de lo que ellos se inspiraron, que se llama Vecna Lives. Ese es el único como que disparate que hicieron, porque pues ellos le llaman al personaje Vecna, pero ellos se supone que no sepan nada de Vecna. O sea, y tampoco se supone que sepan mucho sobre Kaz, mucho menos sobre Kaz. Porque el punto de todo esto es que Kaz, Vecna lo creó. So, aquí donde viene la teoría con Eddie. Vecna creó a Kaz. Kaz es un vampiro y tiene una espada súper especial que es bien distintiva en todas las ediciones de D&D. Y Kaz turns on Vecna and he kills Vecna with his sword. So, la teoría con Eri es que Eri va a ser Kaz. So, ya se pueden imaginar todas las cosas que pues la gente está hablando y teorizando y whatever. Pero, again, la serie pues me coge por la nostalgia. Me encantó eso de que volvieron a lo de Season 1. Si ustedes se dan cuenta, esto es una réplica casi completa de Season 1, donde ellos dividen a los nenes por grupo y también dividen a los adultos en otra sección. Pero sin embargo, todos tienen un interés en común. Todos tienen un interés en común y tú ves el desarrollo de cómo esos intereses, aunque estén en sitios separados, incluyendo en Rusia, cómo todo eso llega al momento indicado. Porque eso es lo que uno como que no se puede creer, como que, diablo, todo esto está pasando a la vez. Y cómo ellos van a saberlo, se van a encontrar y cómo van a bregar, básicamente. Pero I really enjoyed it. Obviamente me la comí de principio a fin. La canción pues estuvo bien cabrona. Ojalá hubiese sido Iron Maiden, de verdad. Hubiese preferido eso, o que dijeran fuck it, vamos a usar Raining Blood, vamos a decir que maybe en marzo ellos estaban testeando la canción para promocionarla o whatever, you know. Por decir algo, ¿verdad? Pero
and I'm not gonna lie, that ending, not the ending, but the part where everybody gets reunited again.
That
shit hit me. That part where where Mike sees Hopper and Hopper is like, you got bigger, and he's like, you got what do you say, you shrunk, you got smaller. That little interaction between them, I was like, fuck, yo, that shit, for me, that shit worked. All those things back together, that shit worked.
11 with the dad. Hello, that one, like, as she said, I kept the door open a certain amount. I was like
3 inches.
But you got that straight, that door better be 3 inches.
Yeah. Man, did y'all happen to see that video explaining that blue wristband that she has?
Va hace tiempo. Eso fue cuando ella se fue al dance. Ok, tú sabes que Hopper tenía una hija, ¿verdad? Pues esa hija, ella tenía pigtails y los pigtails estaban amarrados con una gomita azul. ¿Qué pasa? Cuando a la nena le da cáncer por lo del Agent Orange que explicó Hopper, a la nena le da cáncer, él tiene la nena está calva y él tiene el ribbon azul en la mano toda la puta serie, Y entonces en Season 2, cuando Eleven se va para el dance con Mike, as a date, a lo último, él le... ese Season 1 o Season 2. Es Season 2 porque entró Max. So, él le da el ribbon a Eleven.
Okay.
And Eleven is wearing it right now. Like, it's been this thing that's been in the series since the very beginning, and they've never really explained. I saw it because somebody else was like, yeah, if you see that at principio he just happens to have this blue wristband that he's always wearing, but they never really talked about it. They never explained that it belonged to his daughter, and that was like, wow, you know, like.
Exacto, pero eso es algo que visualmente tú vas conectando, porque tú ves que la nena tiene el ribbon, y ves que él lo tiene cuando la nena pasa de cáncer.
Edwin, no te pierdas, no.
Estoy escuchando.
End up like Roger over here.
No. Y estaba esperando que Seri terminara porque mencionó algo bien importante. Si tú eres conocedor de D&D y has jugado este juego, la parte que mencioné en la cual todo el mundo como que está perdiendo,
sí,
es prácticamente como si tú estuvieses jugando D&D y sacaron un 20 en los dados.
Yep.
¿Entiendes? Y como que todo estaba conectado al principio y porque algo salió mal, todo salió mal. O sea, está super nice.
Yeah.
Sí, es que está cabrón, todos los nods a que esto es un D&D campaign, pues se la doy, ¿sabes? Se la doy porque realmente se está sintiendo así y me gusta que se sienta así. Lo malo es que obviamente ellos tienen que hacer referencia a otras cosas de los 80 y no todo puede ser D&D. So, hay muchas cosas que van a cambiar, como ya sabemos que la espada era el actual prop de Conan, la película Conan, The Barbarian. So, ya sabemos eso y obviamente todo el mundo lo estaba tratando como algo de D&D porque hello, es más que obvio.
All right, how about you, Orengo? Still about the show, pa.
Yo pues vi la serie súper tarde, no como ustedes que la estaban viendo on time, so yo basically aproveché la semana pasada y lo vi completo. El season one? No, yo he visto los primeros 3 seasons, lo que pasa es que ese último, pues, movie, so no tenía break para verlo, pero nada, pude aprovechar. So I saw everything, even the ending y lo que el tease para el próximo season. So yeah, I love este season quedó cabrón because I was very disappointed like a lot of people. I was very disappointed con season 3, mainly por el antagonista, el hermano de Max. Like that guy was just fucking. He was a drag and a half, and I couldn't deal with him.
Billy.
Y a lot of the subplots que estaban en season 3 estaban interesantes, pero en otros que they were like very lacking, and it felt almost unfocused. So yo estaba un poquito dreading ver season 4 porque estaba como que, I hope en verdad que no vuelvan con ese mismo flow. Pero the way it starts el season con el flashback del massacre in the laboratory y se ve Little Eleven como que deepfake, yo dije, okay, aquí they up their ante bien cabrón. And I really liked, I mean, de tantas cosas que me gustó el jodido season, I liked esa mierda que hicieron con ella. The fact that they actually deepfaked her y pusieron una nena chiquita haciendo de ella, pero they didn't use that all the time porque obviamente iba a ser bien complicado. So they selectively used it cuando era necesario for an emotional beat or something. Quedó cabrón. El reveal de este fucking tipo being one, yo me cogió bien desprevenido because I was so like, it was such a false sense of security de este tipo, como que being so nice to her. Yo como que, nah, he's just a little guy. He just wants to help her. You know, yo no, like, the last thing I was expecting que este cabrón iba a ser one, porque de verdad que no, como no era algo que estaba tan set up para yo rápido coger el hint, yo estaba como que cogiendo la face value, okay, it's just a nice guy, just wants to help her, y para el carajo, qué sé yo, y a la vez se tostió, porque everyone was bullying her, cool. Cuando sale que el tipo es Vecna, y vas a hacer ese fucking cricar, yo como que my mind fucking blew wide open, yo me quedé como que, wow. Entonces, then I was dreading, porque yo decía, y si me matan a este fucking cabrón, then what the fuck was the point of this being the beginning of the end? Pero cuando el huele bicho se escapa, I'm like, oh, so you guys had a plan, or at least it seems like you do have a plan now. ¿Me entienden? Now everything seems to hone in y todo tiene un propósito. Y como ustedes dijeron, like little small details como el blue wristband, now everything is kind of like closing in together and everything's starting to like be coherent. Y todo tiene un propósito. Obviamente, pues la secuencia de Max corriendo, creo que fue en episodio 4, quedó bien hijo de puta. It was really cool. I already mentioned it on Twitter and shit, la cuestión de lo de Eddie. Porque como que cuando salió Eddie, pues Eddie obviously is my fucking favorite character. Because obvious fucking reasons.
Yeah.
Pues ese chavago was really, he did a really good fucking performance. En verdad quedó super nice. And I debated this shit. Yo estoy como Sally. This man was supposed to be fucking tocando, running into the hills, or Number of the Beast, or fucking Power Slayer.
Raining Blood by Slayer.
También, why not? Pero yo preferencia era de Iron Maiden porque, first of all, super cassette. Second of all, he's fucking called Eddie. O sea, Jesus fucking Christ. He even looks like the fucking mascot de Iron Maiden. So es como que, it's the very, like, yo pensé como que, esto es un build-up porque este cabrón va a ser de Iron Maiden. Fine. Yo compro que es Master of Puppets porque with the context of the scene, it works. It's about addiction. It's about controlling. Vecna hace eso. Cool. Yo me la como. That's not a problem. El CGI está on point. El CGI está en cabrón. Los performances, todos ellos están cabrones. That fucking scene, la de fucking Will, when he's talking to...
Ay, maldita sea.
Right? Sí. That scene was very fucking sad. Y el subtext en la cual le está hablando una cosa, pero realmente está refiriendo de otra, was really, really tragic. Y ver a ese nene fucking muriéndose en lágrimas was fucking sad. Y después tener el heart to heart con el hermano diciendo como que mira, like, no matter what, I accept you, and that's enough.
I called my little brother after watching that shit.
For real?
Que sí que I was plegado viendo that fucking segment. Right? I sent my brother a text message. I was like, bro, no matter what happens in our lifetime, I'm always gonna be your brother. I love you to death. Like, I sent a message, oh my God, that scene hit so hard with me. I don't know what it was. It just, like, me chocó.
Because it's a really good scene. I don't have brothers or sisters, and that shit made me cry. En verdad, estaba bien poderoso.
You could have called one of us, Orengo. We would have given you a hug.
Oh, that's so sweet. En verdad, y una cosa que tengo que apreciar mucho este season, I mean, ya del tercer season está pasando, but these kids are really good at acting. Like, they've gone so good. Like, Millie Bobby Brown está llorando literally every other scene. Esa mujer can cry on command. Y le queda cabrón. And all these other kids, les quedan bien los performances. Max también. Like, her whole struggle. Está bien fuerte cuando ya tiene el pequeño scene with her in the graveyard con Billy. Even though I fucking hate Billy, I empathize with her. And I feel for her pain. Y se siente real, se siente de verdad. It's actually very earnest. No es como que hokey ni nada. Like, there's very good dramatic scenes in this fucking show que quedaron bien cabrones.
Wolfhard though felt like he was mailing some shit in.
I agree, pero también es que no era tan emotionally demanding. Pero es que no había tanto para él en este season. Maybe the next one, maybe there's something bigger afoot, pero realmente there wasn't anything emotionally demanding de parte de él. So
that scene, bro, at the end with Dustin and Eddie's uncle.
Oh my God, thank you. That's another really good scene.
That kid, bro, not playing. I did not see that coming from Dustin, son.
Sí, por eso te digo, all of them brought their A game. Bueno, most of them brought their A game bien cabrón con sus performances. En verdad, quedaron bien cabrones. No.
Edwin.
Sí, estoy escuchando.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'll be quick. I'll finish up.
Christ, Orengo, you're so long-winded, bro. God damn, bro.
Speed that shit up, Orengo.
Holy.
Sorry.
Orengo, bro.
Oye, lo estoy escuchando.
Una opinión y nos da una hora de Ave María.
Perdón. I'm literally summarizing the whole season porque no pude hablar nunca de él.
Oye, para dejar claro, no es que la conversación esté aburrida, no es que lo que tú estás diciendo.
No, yo sé. I know.
No, lo que pasa es que yo trabajo a madrugada y yo estoy despierto desde, o sea, ya voy casi para 24 horas despierto. So.
No, tranqui, está ahí.
Este cabrón
I'll wrap it up, don't worry. Estoy confiado para el próximo season, for sure. El setup para lo próximo que viene está cabrón. Damn, I was gonna say something that there was a little tidbit I wanted to mention on the show. No me acuerdo.
That you didn't like, or
maybe yo creo que era que I didn't like, pero realmente no. I'm trying to let me see if I can quickly remember. Okay. I have a theory, and I think I've mentioned this before, but lo dije en the movie guy. Lo voy a decir rápido. I really believe, y lo dije jodiendo sin haber visto el season, but now I really believe this shit. This thing is gonna end up being just a fucking dream sequence where they're just doing a campaign. Esto fue un campaign. Like this is straight up a campaign, right? Right?
No.
Like for real. Like it's
no. I don't
se
think
van a
so.
tirar. Se va
I
a tirar
don't
esa
think
mierda.
so. I don't
Okay.
think so because of the confirmation of like the spin-offs that there have been on the internet.
Pero esos spin-offs no tienen que ver con el actual main storyline. Es otra cosa.
But what are you talking about? If it's a continuation or a spin-off of the show, what
No,
somebody
it's a
else
spin-off
has a campaign?
within the world. It's within the world, pero ellos, they were specific about saying que esto no va a ser un spin-off like de Dustin, ni de Eleven, ni nada así. Like, they want to just, like, forgo all these characters y hacer algo completamente new within the world.
Okay,
I guess.
But it would have to be around the element of the supernatural and monsters and the upside down with different characters.
The FBI got you covered. Ellos experimentaron hasta la abuela de ellos, so don't worry about it.
Okay, but maybe. So, ¿tú crees que entonces esto no es un D&D campaign at the end? That'd be so dope. O por lo menos que terminen con ellos jugando como pues casi adults, yendo a universidad y están fucking
I think you'll get a time jump and they'll do what they did in Back to the Future. And here are my experiences in a book called, Us Friends Together Fight the Dragons. And you get like a...
Se dieron un chapter 2. I can see that happening. Yeah, I can see that.
Or you get a D&D module, right? That's what they call them, modules?
Yes.
Yeah.
They got their own module.
Cuando están en el Upside Down, they're basically D&D characters. Y con lo que Sally dijo de que Eddie basically was doing one of the characters, specifically Eddie, es como que I think que, I mean, yo entiendo que también esto es por referencias y mierda, pero it really feels like, yo sé que no lo van a hacer porque hacer un cop-out y se sentiría como mierda que tú hayas visto 5 seasons para que tú sepas que todo fue esencialmente un sueño, pero de que hagan como que un epilogue donde terminan jugando básicamente su aventura de la serie en un D&D campaign, I can see that being like a little throwaway thing that they do as a scene.
Ay, ojalá.
It'd be kind of cool.
So,
watch him go.
I thought it was cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. Those last segments where, yes, they were playing that song and everybody was kind of like rallying. That shit was nerve-wracking as shit. I did not expect Max to get snapped like a fucking twig.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Mr. Satanic Panic to get literally bursted in the middle, like in half.
Me cago en la madre ese cabrón.
I'm glad it happened. I'm like, he got the best death the most deserved death out of all of them. There was a point in the episode where I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, I feel like the directors knew that people were gonna be like, there was gonna be a point in this where like people were gonna be like, oh, who's gonna die, and they literally made the scenes like, oh, we don't know who is it gonna be. Like, it was a random. It felt like it was being shuffled. Like, oh, not Dustin. What's his name? The Max's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Lucas.
At one point, I was like, yo, Lucas is gonna take a dirt nap. I was like, Lucas is gonna die, and I didn't see this coming. I was like, this is gonna suck if they kill Lucas. I'm like, yo, I'm not down. At one point, I felt comfortable with Steve. I was like, Steve is in the safe, yo. Nobody's such a Steve. Great. Let's keep him there. Déjalo tranquilito. I was like, there's no way. Steve isn't even in fucking danger right now. There's no way he gets choked out. That's not going to be his death. So he's good. He's in a safe place being strangled. Like, or whatever. But when it was with Lucas, when it was with Eddie, that obviously he took the dive for everybody.
As soon as he cut that rope, I was like,
yeah, that scene worked really well when he stops and he's gonna do the heroic thing of like making sure that this guy's okay and bro, I was like,
I was like, motherfucker, here we go.
Yeah. Pero dude, I enjoyed the ride. Like it was amazing. I have questions though, because that's what I do. I ask questions. Question number 1.
No.
Do you think it was really necessary to have him be 3 hours and 2 hours?
Viéndolo todo, I think it's fine, porque todo se desarrollaba y nunca, yo me chupé las 2 horas y pico desde una sentada. I actually didn't feel como que tenía que pararlo, o que como que, this could have been a good place to cut it. Como que, honestamente, maybe could have been split in 3 episodes y dejar las últimas 45 minutos como en un epílogo aparte. Maybe, como mucho. Pero it actually worked. And it surprised me porque yo estaba diciendo, nah, esto no va a funcionar, esta mierda de hacer 1 hora y media, después 2 horas y media es fucking absurd as an episode. Pero it actually worked completamente.
Okay. All right. And the second question is, I don't understand the thing with the Mind Flayer and Vecna. I really don't get it. I don't know then like who. I mean, you saw the Mind Flayer. Is he the big bad, or is that an entity, or
the Mind Flayer gave him powers? No, it gave him.
Lo que están confundiendo es que te acuerdas que en Rusia estaba lo mismo, the Dark Energy. Ese Dark Energy es lo que se le mete, es lo que tienen los Demodogs, los Demogorgons, every creature from the Upside Down. Ese energy, por eso era que ellos estaban como si fuese conservándolo. Y era porque no tenían esa energía adentro. Esa energía parece que los rusos buscaron una manera de cómo sacárselo. Porque después de eso, Hopper había peleado con uno de los Demogorgons. Entonces, el otro que estaba allá adentro, con otros Demodogs and whatnot, se suponía que you know.
Pero en la gran jerarquía de quién carajo es el más que mea.
Esa es la jodienda porque te hacen pensar que esa energía estaba en el Upside Down y Vecna la está manipulando. Ese es el problema. No te están diciendo si es, como dijo Dustin, que Vecna es el 5-star lieutenant. Es lo que no están explicando.
I still don't understand if the mist that he saw was that's the actual villain in this whole story, and it just so happens that you know the number one had powers enough to control it and he's using it, or it's backwards. I don't know if that mist is what's giving Vecna all his big ass bad powers. You know what I mean?
Por eso, según lo que dice 11, it has always been you. Es que Vecna era el Mind Flayer. Eso es lo que yo creo que es lo que dijeron, pero super subtle. Nadie explicó más nada, solamente que 11 dijo, it was you, it was always you.
Eso. I would appreciate it, porque si llega a haber otro villano por encima de Vecna, I'm going to get pissed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What I understood was Vecna got there, the Mind Flayer was there, but without any intention of invading anything, and Vecna just, I guess, used those particles to try to attack, you know, the fucking regular world. I think he uses the Mind Flayer's power. I don't think the Mind Flayer has any intention in invading Earth. Everything looks very personal from how Vecna was explaining that it was him desde un principio trying to crack open the world. I guess that he was just using the Mind Flayer. Or using his powers.
Hay que ver por qué entonces es eso, porque si nos vamos en métodos de D&D y hasta ahora ellos han hecho bastante buen uso de eso, está bien heavy tratar de explicarlo y estoy hablando y lo estoy diciendo yo.
Very odd. To me, I would have thought that big entity was the big bad, because at the end of the day, these characters are still human.
Por eso, o sea, estamos hablando que es una entidad, o sea, estamos hablando, Mind Flayers. Mind Flayers, lo que ellos tienen son un Elden Brain. Que un Elden Brain básicamente es un Mind Flayer que llegó como si fuese Godlyhood. Después que muere, pues se convierte en un Elden Brain y whatnot. Y, o sea, el punto es que los Mind Flayers transcienden. Pero Vecna he became godlike, he became a lich, he became something that is almost impossible to kill. ¿Entiendes? Que si nos dejamos llevar de eso, es como que, damn, va a estar fuerte la cosa y no sé cómo es que lo van a bregar. Para mí va a ser un misterio totalmente porque, again, they are taking their own approach. Y a mí yo siempre he estado teorizando maybe somebody else. Si dijeron 5-star lieutenant, maybe somebody else. Pero entonces Eleven dice, no, it has always been you. Pero al mismo tiempo es como que, pero who has the higher power?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, the Mind Flayer has the higher power, but it felt like he was just using that. How they show the particles going into his arm. He looks like he's just using the Mind Flayer or the power that he was able to take from the Mind Flayer to attack. That's how
my point then. But that's my point then. So that he's not the big bad.
I think Vecna is the big bad. But anyway,
yo también pienso que es the big bad. Lo único que pues están metiendo tres cosas por el medio. That's what I think. Para mí es capaz que están metiendo tres cosas por el medio y algo más va a pasar.
All right. End of conversation.
Now that's Santa Cana. Wow.
I have a question. I was watching Stranger Things, and Brett Gelman's character just did martial arts, and then the show decided to throw in a gong after he does martial arts. Am I crazy, or did this actually just happen?
Yes, it happened.
It happened.
That is really fucked up, dude.
And he said, Kung Pao, you know?
I'm like legitimately embarrassed for the Duffer Brothers over that. That's.
Did they direct that episode? You have to check if they directed it.
No, somebody else did, but they're the showrunner. So this all like I'm assuming the showrunners deal with score and shit like that.
Hey! It was the '80s. Racism didn't exist back then. Don't worry about it.
You know, I was so tempted to tweet. Like, it's so nice of Stranger Things.
No, you're emotional. Racism. You don't tweet. You don't tweet under emotion. All right.
I know that's why I said I don't. But I wanted to say it's really nice that Stranger Things decided to bring back racism against Asians in movies. That's real nostalgia. I'm blown away. They've never had. Wow, that is.
I mean, PTA did it last year. You know, it's like tradition. Someone else has to take up the gauntlet of like racism.
You support Cobra Kai, which is culture vulturing a Caucasian male taking over a Chinese or
me?
Martial. Yes, you.
I literally have never seen a single episode of
Bro,
Cobra Kai.
You have the bandana right behind you in the frame. What are you talking about? Now I'm fucking with you. Look at him. He said, oh shit, I have that out in public. God damn it.
Here.
Anyway, all right. Now we're on the subject you want to talk about, Jordan. So
yeah, we're gonna move into Jordan's pick of the week, which is Watch RR. Before we go in, we're gonna have a small video clip to continue with us getting banned from YouTube.
I've had enough of this nonsense! You two, out!
No, Jake, I've had enough of your bullying. Oh, wow! Go!
Oh, my bad.
Step up. And I was like, Jesus Christ, look at this fucking guy, yo. Bro,
Esa gente sabe trabajar, esa gente sabe lo que hace, puñeta.
Bro, I was so fucking high watching that shit. And it was like, there was too much shit happening. I was like, what the fuck is going on? This motherfucker was breaking it down. They had the black guy with the fucking drums. I was like, what the fuck is going on in this fucking show, in this movie, yo? Bro, that movie was such a trip. I only got halfway into it. I got about literally almost an hour and 30 minutes into it.
What happened? What was the last thing you saw?
The last thing I saw was the one that's a cop was beating the shit out of the brother, and he gets bit by a snake.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
That's the last thing I saw. That fucking movie is insane.
Cabrón, that movie goes places. Let me tell you. I'm glad that Jordan recommended that shit, because when I started watching it, I'm like, I literally told him I need some fucking context here. There's no way these are just two random human beings the way they're portraying them. This is either based on some sort of folklore,
but you can't look at it because it's a spoiler alert. Look at the content.
I was like, this is either based on some weird folklore or some urban myth, or this is an exaggeration of a historical figure. And lo and behold, they're two revolutionaries from their culture.
Bro, that shit.
The scene with the opposite scene,
fucking crazy. Like I've never seen a Bollywood movie, so I literally didn't know what to expect coming into.
Cabrón, this is the, and I know Santagana's gonna get pissed off when I say this. Cabrón, this is like the, I don't want to say this is their Iron Man, but this is like a highest budget.
Yep. It's the biggest
Bollywood movies. Cabrón. Like this, I was looking at the numbers. This is like a $75 million production.
Mm-hmm. It's the biggest budget.
Was so fucking crazy. The shit that was happening in this fucking movie, like not just the stunts, like the for me, what was such like a crazy tonal shift. Like they're doing it, and all of a sudden they all just start going into song. Oh, this motherfucker breaking it down singing.
Pero, espérate. In that scene in particular, the segue is believable because they're at a party. You know what I'm saying? Like they're at a party.
So fucking funny when I'm seeing this fucking white guy push this guy down. He was like, "Yeah, son, yeah, I'm over here. You think you can hang with us? Do you know flamenco?" I was like, "What the fuck?" This nigga he got so tough. Do you know salsa? I was like, "What the fuck?" This nigga, it felt like watching fucking what? Jess, I was like, this guy's breaking it down, talking about he's better flamenco dancing. What had me dead? I don't know the name of the characters. I already forgot the name, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna try to mix it up. But the one that looked scruffy, I don't know if that's a true Indian thing. But for me, like when he didn't know to say no or yes, so he just that shit was so fucking funny.
With her name, what he did with her name,
bro.
Don't call me Jenny. Her name is don't call me Jenny.
It's not madam. You can call me Jenny. Motherfucker just shaking his head, yo. Bro, the like you can tell everything was super excited out. And again, it was like something I've never seen a Bollywood movie, so I don't know if this is just the normal thing that happens. Motherfucker jumped over a cage and literally went Leonidas and fought like fucking 200 people like on Tassos. Just pow. I was like, yo, fuck John Wick, bro. This motherfucker went into a crowd of 200 people and fucked everybody up.
He went into a crowd of over like 200 people to go and arrest one man and bring him back. Because he
beats them all up.
Because he was pointed out by the British military, like, arrest that man. I was like, what the fuck? Let me tell you though, the movie goes places though. Like, as far as I'm in, because it's 3 hours long. As far as I'm in, there's some scenes that are like pretty heartfelt too. There's a scene you haven't seen you haven't seen. There's not. If that's what Jordan is referring to as a twist. I don't think that's a twist, but
yo digo what happens with Raju and Beam after what you texted me.
You're talking about the betrayal or the fact that he gets his life saved by him and then he still comes back and he's dominated by the British forces.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro.
There's more. There's another twist that's really big, heavy twist.
Don't say shit because as soon as we finish with this, I'm gonna see that shit.
There was one segment where I was like, I feel like this is like losing me. Like I'm not really into this part where it was like the training montage of them being together, like getting to be friends. I love like,
that song.
That's your toxic masculinity.
Because when they did the dancing segment, I thought that shit was awesome,
bro.
And then they do another segment. The whipping scene, Jordan.
Incredible.
The whipping scene was good. Like yo, I literally I was like, wow, this scene is fucking powerful.
I was waiting for some Rocky Balboa, Apollo, just running to the beach, start hugging each other and shit.
Their high five underwater.
Shirts off. The high five from the bridge. I was like, yeah, son.
But I love the lyric that because they keep playing it again in the movie. That's something along the lines of what a misfortunate amount of events that has culminated in this friendship. How it just says it over and over again throughout the movie.
The fucking song about the friendship. I was reading the subtitles. I was fucking dying.
That was my favorite song. That's a question I have also, genuinely. How do we know those subtitles are done correctly? Because it's on Netflix. Netflix has a bad habit of butchering the fucking shit out of subtitles.
Well, Netflix has a very, very large array of Bollywood and Tollywood movies. So I would suspect that they wouldn't butcher it, especially since this is the Hindu. What we watched isn't even the original version. We watched the Hindu version, which is it's all dubbed over.
No wonder, yo. I was like, it feels like I feel like I'm supposed to be seeing the match of them talking.
Yeah,
nobody is speaking the language.
Yeah, it's like watching a spaghetti western.
No wonder, bro. I was like, that shit seems weird. I would expect it with the English fucking actors, but I was like, something seems fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have the original one on Netflix, but no, those are the lyrics. Because I was talking to somebody who's Indian, and I was talking about that particular lyric and how much I liked it, and yeah,
bro, that shit had me laugh when they was like, these fucking white people. I'm literally looking and it says in the subtitles, these white guys, and I was like, that shit, like the way they were singing it, it sounded like so classic So like real female music, and then the subtitle was like these fucking white people taking over everybody. I was like, what the fuck is going on, yo? This motherfucker on a Mustang on a fucking horse, and this other fucking guy on a motorcycle racing each other, and the fucking music is like, you never seen a friendship like this. Two guys opposite sides. I was like, what the fuck?
I wanted to go. I always dreamt about going to England or to Britain or whatever, you know what I mean? And after watching this and Kamala Khan back to back, I don't want to go there anymore. Like if I go there, I want to spit in their face and then come back.
These fish and chips motherfuckers.
I want to get in the airport, find the first fucking English person I find. That's what you get for everything you guys have done. I'm out of here.
I want to start working out and then go shirtless and fight time, like Beam did. That's my new.
Fight who?
Like Beam. Beheem, how do we say his name? It's in subtitles. I don't know
that
how they
motherfucker. Yo, both of those motherfuckers were fucking ripped, dude.
That was another thing I was watching. I was like, these motherfuckers must be like the Tom Cruise and and like Ryan Gosling of their culture because they look like
I've never seen. I've never seen somebody that had like cabrón, this fucking guy looked like a Schwarzenegger, 80s. Fucking ripped action star, and at the same time, this motherfucker's Fred Astaire. This motherfucker is like he's tirando moves like he's a Marion in this bitch. I was like, what the fuck is going on, yo?
If you will allow me to, I'm going to ruin it a little bit for you. A lot of the muscles are CGI. Bollywood movies do that a lot.
Get the fuck out of here, yo.
So his abdomens. One of the hairy guy, the one with the fro, his abdomens. There's shots where you can see where it's like painted on.
But Bollywood films have, by and large,
it still worked. Fuck that shit. It still worked.
This motherfucker was fighting the tiger. I was like, this is like Captain America when he was fucking jalando the fucking helicopter. This motherfucker was like, I was like, yo,
that ain't done. That ain't done, son. There's a scene where a tiger gets punched in the fucking face. Bro.
Yes.
There's a scene where he goes running and he's like, decks him right in his face. Like keeps walking like nothing ever happened.
This movie is great.
People ever.
Pero una cosa que you wouldn't expect, since we haven't seen so many of their films, pero Bollywood by and large has some really, really, really incredible VFX work, and they actually sometimes do more work than the people over here do. So it's because they're shot differently. So for example, sometimes there's one film where they changed his face entirely, but they didn't have any tracking dots on him.
Wow!
So that's an insane amount of work, and people. That's
in the movie.
Tell. No, it's in a different Bollywood movie.
How did you feel about the tiger? Did the tiger work for you, or was it too?
I think that the issue is that the tiger was in a brightly lit area. So when you do CGI outside, it's always not always, but it's gonna.
I've seen worse. Like the tiger in the Idris Elba movie doesn't look half as good as the tiger in this fucking movie. Like
that movie looks so 90s. It looks like a straight to VHS 90s movie. La de Idris.
All right.
So before we leave, Edward.
Sí, estamos aquí.
Edwin and Lorengo got to see Thor. Real quick. Give me a. Is the embargo lifted? So ustedes pueden hablar de Thor.
Sí, you can.
Sí.
All right. So without choteando the ending, give me a little bit about Thor.
Me lo choteas ahorita, Orengo.
Yeah, tell me too. I don't give a flying fuck about it.
I already know everything. Orengo told me everything. So.
¿Quién va a empezar?
Edwin, go.
Dale, Edwin, dale tú.
Primera, yo desde que vi cómo iba Thor durante el MCU, vi poco a poco, ¿verdad?, el desarrollo del personaje hasta el punto de Ragnarok, que ya lo vi como si fuera un comic relief en donde quiera que tú lo pongas. Y yo pues lo acepté. Ahora con Thor Love and Thunder, viendo el villano que es Gore the Butcher, pues yo dije, espérate, esta gente va a adaptar para mí una de las mejores historias y de mis historias favoritas de Thor, que es ese arco donde God the Butcher quiere matar a todos los dioses. Pues vamos a ver cómo van a hacer esto. Cuando vi el avance pensé que iba a tener sus tonalidades de comedia en una parte y en otra parte pues algo más serio. La película es entretenida, la película tú te sientas y te vas a entretener, te vas a reír, tienes un momento. Pero la vi que es extremadamente exagerada, llena de comedia. O sea, ahí es donde llega como que el punto que daña todo lo que es la historia principal, el la introducción de estos personajes como Jane Foster, como The God Butcher, tener tanta comedia excesivamente, pues no te deja como que disfrutar el momento, porque está otro sistema, y otro sistema, y otro sistema, y otro sistema. Yo entiendo que la película posiblemente al que, ¿verdad? Vaya al cine de manera casual, le va a gustar. Marvel, I was gonna say you fucking normies. Es Marvel, es entretenida. Yo lo tengo que aceptar, me reí en varias ocasiones. Pero al que sí, pues es un lector de cómic y conoce toda esta historia, pues va a salir como yo, que salió bien molesto de allí, porque a pesar de que Christian Bale hizo un papel súper excepcional con Gore de God Butcher, no era lo que yo esperaba. Y entonces venimos de ver un Thor en Infinity War y Endgame bien OP, un Thor que ya se pega y se, ¿verdad?, asimila a lo que nosotros conocemos de los cómics. Volverlo a bajar de esa manera, pues peor aún.
How about you, Orengo? Did they Venom Thor? Did they make him like dumb?
Bueno, aquí yo creo que él está, yo creo que él está más dumber. Honestamente, I feel like he is a little bit dumber in this movie.
What? No, time out. Time the fuck out. Wait a second. No. Let's run that shit back. You didn't tell me that. You're telling me this character is a bigger buffoon, a bigger moron than Eddie Brock in the Sony movies?
Bueno,
Have you seen part 2?
No he visto part 2. So lo que yo voy a decir es, he does feel dumber que en Ragnarok. I can give you that much. Hay momentos donde él genuinamente tiene que tener 2 neuronas en su cabeza. Yo me quedaba como que, ¿en serio, cabrón? You were not ready to be this idiotic. Like, tú eres un buffoon, pero tú eres como que un bro dude, pero no eres un pleno idiota. Pero aquí es como que hay un momento que actúa como un pleno idiota. I will say this. Edwin was nicer than how I'm gonna be.
No. Oye, yo lo quise hacer por el hecho de que quiero que todo el mundo sufra y vaya a ver la película.
Ahora sí, porque yo estaba como que
el próximo viernes la ira de Dios se desata.
Ok, está bien, cool. Bueno, pues yo voy a ir live también. I mean, yo hice una reseña, yo la posté, qué sé yo. Mañana la posteo en Instagram también, que me faltaba. Pero overall, la película empezó cabrona. Y Edwin lo sabe. Empezó
los primeros 15 o 20 minutos están súper cabrones de esa película.
Empezó bien cabrón. Yo me quedé como que, wow, Taika, te vas a tirar por esta tangente. Cool. Pero después pasan unas cosas. Yo no duré tanto. Yo aprecié los primeros como 5 minutos. Cuando pasó algo, yo empecé a ver como que, este tipo está como que está comprimiendo mucho character development en par de líneas, solamente para llegar al próximo punto. Entonces, aquí yo me estoy poniendo a pensar, porque ya es algo que lo vi, como lo estoy viendo back to back, y lo sentí con Doctor Strange. Yo no sé si esto es que Kevin Feige está diciendo, mi gente, estas películas van a durar 2 horas, no jodan, ya esto bien la de hacer 2 horas y media, para el carajo, usted va a hacer películas de 2 horas, y cuidado que menos de 2 horas. Y yo creo que eso está metiéndose mucho en la trama, porque, y Edwin sabe, los segmentos, por ejemplo, de Guardians of the Galaxy son bien cortos y son bien rush al punto de que las cosas que hasta que viste en el trailer no las ves en la película. So, para mí que había más desarrollo en Guardians, había más desarrollo de los Jane Foster, había más desarrollo de Thor, hasta de Gore, que picotearon mucho, donde tú tienes lo más mínimo y lo más básico para que la historia coja. Y aún así, yo siento que había un momento donde perdieron tiempo en mierda, donde pudieron haberlo cogido ese tiempo y ponerlo mejor puesto en Jane Foster y en Gore, donde yo creo que they lack a lot. Jane Foster tiene lo básico para que tú puedas decir, ok, ella es como en los cómics, pero es lo básico. El character development de ella casi no existe. El desarrollo que le dan, it sort of works, but not really. Y la última conclusion de ella está como que está fine, pero no es como que tan wow. Con Gore, yo aprecié el principio y el final de Gore, del arco de él. Lo del medio para mí fue una plena basura. Cuando ellos van, ese side story, cuando van al Olimpo, mierda. Esa mierda lo hubieran cortado por el carajo. Esa mierda, esos 30 minutos fueron unos 30 minutos perdidos. Honesta, para el chiste. Todo fue para un fucking chiste. Cuando veas el chiste es como que, ok, cool, para el chiste. Pero en verdad fue una fucking pelea de tiempo.
Yo en esta película yo me sentí, ¿sabes? De que me subieron. Me subieron y de repente hizo caída libre. Y entonces me quedé como Loki al principio de Ragnarok. En un loop.
I've been falling for the past 45 minutes.
Así, papi, así me sentí yo también, ¿verdad?
Pero eso era una frustración y una frustración y una frustración. Pero a mí la escena que yo dije, ¿sabes qué? Me cago en la madre, Taika Waititi. Me cago en la madre, cabrón que te trae café. Me cago en la madre, todo el que trabajaba aquí. Fue en una escena en la batalla final.
Ajá.
Es que no sé si tirar el spoiler, pero.
Tíralo, que se joda, tíralo.
No. Tito,
¿Tito de qué? Si es una mierda película, we don't care.
I mean.
Okay,
do we have the spoiler truck? Do we have the spoiler warning?
I'll take that off.
No. You're
I
not
don't have the spoiler thing no more. But just say, we're going into fucking spoilers, everybody. This is your time. That if you don't want to know what happened.
pero cualquier cosa no lo digo. El punto es que
offend your sensibilities. You might want to look away.
Solo dilo.
Hay una escena en que está la amenaza de Gore, está la amenaza de Shadow Monster.
Ya.
O sea, es algo serio. Este tipo ha matado dioses y tú me vas a joder a mí de que vas a coger unos nenes. Todos van a tener el poder de Mighty Thor y todo lo que tengan en la mano. Fuck
Wait,
you.
What?
They did the Shazam ending, bro.
They did the Shazam.
ending.
They did the Shazam with a bunch of kids.
Wait, there's like a bunch of Thor kids that attack him at the end of the movie?
As Guardians, y Thor hace eso mismo. He does the Shazam thing donde le da poderes temporalmente.
They asked for the spirit bomb. They asked for permission.
The Asgardians of the Galaxy, that's what they did.
Cojan cualquier cosa que vean en el piso. Hay una nena que tiene un fucking peluche.
Sí, está partiendo la madre con peluche.
A little
Shadow Monsters.
I'm trying to. Okay, there's a little girl with a teddy bear hitting Gore.
Yes.
No fue Gore, fue los Shadow Monsters, pero casi. Might as well.
Pero
no mismo. Son los Henchmen que tiene Gore.
Estamos hablando que esos monstruos se le hicieron difícil a Valkyrie y a Jane Foster en algún momento.
That's true. Eso es verdad. Eso es cierto. I forgot about that. Es verdad. Tienes razón, caro.
My bigger problem. Now that I know everything I know, my bigger problem with this movie is that it's doing something that a lot of the movies have been doing lately, and it's not progressing a fucking thing forward.
Nope.
With the bigger narrative. It's just like all of these movies.
The narrative.
Cuando yo escribí,
what do you mean fuck the bigger narrative? It's what they're known for. Even Kamala Khan's journey is forwarding the fucking bigger narrative forward.
I get very tired of that. I don't like interconnected stuff that much.
Cuando yo escribí ¿verdad? La reseña o la opinión, yo dije que esta gente sí hizo el search ¿verdad? Del source material, pero se cae en ejecutarlo de una manera estúpida.
Sí.
O sea, era tan fácil hacer esto, no igual que el cómic, pero, o sea, es el momento de tú presentar el Thor que todo el mundo quiere ver. Aprovecha el momento, este empuje que tiene Thor de Endgame y Infinity War. Coño, tú me vas a decir esa escena de Infinity War cuando él llega a Wakanda, que empieza a pelear bien cabrón. Igual que en Endgame, cuando él tiene el Stormbreaker y el Mjolnir, que se convierte en fucking un vikingo y empieza a pelear. O sea, claro. y me va a traer a este estúpido, que es como dice Orengo, que a veces como que me da ganas de meterle un puño.
Y la cosa es, él trae un punto bien grande. Y mira, si fuera entonces que vas a coger la base del source material y vas a reinventarlo, pues, loco, por lo menos trata de traerlo al tema de lo que es la película, que es Love. Pero entonces él coge el tema de Love y lo coge de la forma más estúpida y minimalista y tan unearned, porque entonces el tercer acto, con lo que trae a la mesa, pues solidifica el tema del amor, pero it never feels earned en ningún momento. Tú nunca llegas emocionalmente al punto, tú dices, me encanta, o sea, conceptualmente, si Edwin escucha, porque yo vi una película, si Edwin escucha el pitch de la película, si él escuchara la sinopsis, si leyera la sinopsis completa, él diría, tío, esta película se escucha cabrona. Ahora, cuando tú la ves, dice, pero que jodía mierda, si lo que leí se escuchaba cabrón. ¿Dónde está esto mismo que yo leí en la película? Porque la película lo que quiere es llegar al sitio, pero nunca quiere desarrollarse para llegar a ese punto final. Sí. Porque es poderoso el mensaje que quiere traer la película, especialmente al final. Porque el arco lector de este hombre que es un superhéroe que está lost, un superhéroe que perdió a todo el mundo, y a lo último, pues lo que Taika Waititi hace con el tema del amor está cabrón, pero you never feel it's earned, y simplemente llega y pasa y te lo tienes que chupar porque eso es lo que va a pasar ahora.
Y el final está súper cabrón. Esa parte específica está
súper cabrona.
Pero es como dice Orengo, todo lo que él trata de construir la jode por completo.
Exacto.
Porque tú no te sientes identificado de lo que Thor ahora es.
Exacto.
De la película.
Una pregunta que les hago.
Mira.
¿No hay un paradox con lo del martillo de Jane?
No.
¿O eso lo explican?
Martillo está en Asgard, ¿no? Eso era.
El martillo, ok. El martillo
pero
está.
El martillo no es del periodo de tiempo de nosotros, ¿no?
Es del periodo.
Yes, sí.
Yeah, because those put back together.
They just
exacto. Yeah, they show you what happens with them. It's the same thing over here.
It has the cracks in it, ¿no?
Exacto.
Lo que pasa es que ellos se ahorraron en explicarte todo. Ellos solamente te lo dicen como en 2 líneas, más nada.
Exacto.
Pasó esto, ya soy Thor. Ya.
Y qué cosa que eso pasa mucho en la película. En la película tienen esta costumbre de explicarte todo como en 2, 3 estúpidas líneas y seguimos para el carajo porque hay que arrancar. Y para el carajo.
Is Gore funny at all? Do they try to make him funny at all, or is it?
Mira, si Ragnarok fue comedia, esta es como, yo diría como que 60% más, es algo ridículo, en verdad. Es algo ridículo.
¿Verdad que Gore era como que era un cartoon, era un chiste? Tipo era un chiste.
I didn't expect Gore to be funny at all.
Fíjate, esta versión de Gore tiene sus detalles. Sí. Lo que pasa es que Gore en los cómics, él es sarcástico. Lo que pasa aquí es como que extremadamente sarcástico. Es como, no, papi, me voy.
Por eso, sí, te echo a esa.
Pero yo no le he hecho, no, ¿sabes? Yo no le puedo echar la culpa a Christian Bale, porque Christian Bale es un actor que hace lo que pueda con el guión que le dan.
No, exacto, ¿verdad?
Y a mí me gustó. Ahora.
¿A qué culpa las líneas? Esto fue el guión, el guión.
Sí. Ahora, la película tiene cosas brutales también.
Sí, hay chistes que están cabrones. Las cabras están hija de puta. Yo me voy a las cabras.
Cada vez que salían las cabras, eso era de lo mejor de la película.
Sí, es verdad, sí. Tú pidas cabras, yo me la risa, es verdad, sí.
Esa es una. 2, la manera en que te presentan los lugares a donde ellos van, el Olimpo, el lugar que es como que el Negative Zone, que no tiene colores.
El CGI está cabrón y los visuales están cabrones, ¿verdad?
Hay partes que Gore intimida y da miedo, y eso es lo que el personaje es.
Sí.
O sea, Christian Bale se ve demasiado de cabrón como Gore, pero hay cosas que pudieron mejorarlo. Detalles estúpidos que a lo mejor, como yo escribí en mi opinión, son caprichos míos, como por ejemplo, ¿sabes? Tú me vas si tú no puedes utilizar lo del Venomize, que es lo del Necrosword y toda la pelea. Sí. Estás utilizando, pues entonces que es la sombra, que esto y lo otro. Pues, dale a la espada, dale una forma más brutal, que como en los cómics, que le salga así del cuerpo, pero no una mierda de espada de Game of Thrones.
Sí, en verdad era bien simple la espada en diseño.
Parece que eso fue, le dijeron a un tipo, mira, traímos una espada, y fue a Paris City y compró la espada y ya, eso es. Dijeron, ya no hay más break, usa esa. Sí. Para mí creo que hicieron fue eso. O sea, son cosas que, porque a mí por lo menos el look del, para mí estaba cabrón, y para lo que es el MCU, está nice. No me importó verlo con los tentáculos y eso, porque entonces iban a joder. Todos los chistes iban con el tentáculo, o sea, hacer cosas con el tentáculo. Pero Jane Foster, la manera, a pesar de que fue bien apresurada, la manera que la introducieron y explicaron y todo, a mí pues estuvo bastante bien, porque lo único que tomaron fueron 2 o 3 cositas de esa historia del cómic. Fuera de ahí más nada, porque no se podía hacer más nada. Ahí.
Sí, no. A 2 horas no se podía hacer nada, chacho.
Sí, pero esas son las pocas cositas que la película tiene buena. Fuera de ahí.
Fíjate, un prop también, el último prop que voy a decir. me gustó que Taika, porque obviamente lo tenía que hacer por necesidad. Ustedes saben muy bien que a través del MCU, una de las fallas más grandes es que el desarrollo de la relación de Jane y Thor ha sido bien mierda. Like, en la primera película pues, le dieron su desarrollo, pero para la segunda estaba basura y la tercera pues ya no existía. So, tuvo cool que Taika recontextualizó mucho su relación en esta película para que entonces tú pudieras ir teniendo los feels con ellos, porque si no, la película no iba a tener pase. So, por lo menos aprecio que el tipo cogió a ellos dos, ya que los tenía, entonces como que arregló un poquito con la relación para que entonces pudiera tener sentido con lo que está pasando en esta película.
Si la película no tuviese tanto chiste estúpido y tanta escena estúpida, innecesaria, todo eso le hubiese dado significado al final.
Bien, cabrón. Tienes toda por eso es que yo odio la mierda cuando van para Olimpo, porque es una pelea de tiempo. Todo ese tiempo se hubiera aprovechado mejor desarrollando más Jane Foster y Thor y un poquito Gore para que el final, papi, encaja como ficha. Malditas, el final está bueno en teoría. En teoría está cabrón ese final, pero en ejecución me encojona porque no llega ahí nunca. Nunca se siente earned.
When you say the ending, you mean the ending of the movie or what comes after?
Yes,
and like that
the ending of the movie. El basically el epílogo de la película.
Ajá.
Es que no te voy a decir qué es porque en verdad está cool, es que mano, es una buenísima idea, pero es que maldita sea que no lo hizo tan apresurado. Me encojonó.
Did you like the post-credit scenes?
Sí.
Yo una estaba medio perdido. I think I told this to Miguel. Yo estaba perdido en una y la otra, no, mentira, no estaba perdido. I was actually hyped, pero no puedo decir por qué. La segunda, I was a little more confused.
It's nothing you're gonna like, Nick. It's nothing you're gonna like.
Okay,
the reason why he's hyped for it, you're not even interested.
No, okay. Es como todo lo.
If I said you're not interested in it, if you're not, why the fuck would you think that Loki? You're like super interested in Loki.
So that's what I'm saying. So there's no Loki. That's what happens.
No.
Un ex credit es como que para continuar lo que está pasando en el MCU y otro ex credit es un detallito del filme.
Exacto. Así mismo es. Yep.
All right. So we got to the 3 hour and a half mark. Got all our topics down. We had a really great episode. Before we go, want to thank Edwin for hooking up with comic information, being with us this whole fucking episode. Everybody, round of applause for my man, Edwin.
You made it. You made it, Edwin. We're proud of you.
Casi pierdo la batalla por usted.
Before we go, everybody, you already know. Let the people know where they can find you. Vamos a comenzar con Edwin. Y la gente where they can find you.
Primera, me pueden conseguir en Facebook como Eden Comics PR, porque alguien puso Eden Comics en Facebook, te voy a buscar quién es, pero sí, Eden Comics PR en Facebook, Instagram y Twitter, Eden Comics, YouTube, ahí subimos todos los live y hacemos, ¿verdad?, varios episodios también especiales. Voy a tratar de hacer todo lo posible de hacer más contenido exclusivo para YouTube. Me voy a buscar ahí en Eden Comics, casi siempre lunes, miércoles y viernes a través de Facebook Live y Twitch. Eden Comics, los lunes son el podcast de noticias, el miércoles podcast de review y el viernes pues hablamos de películas y series basadas en cómics.
Sally.
Ya saben, me pueden conseguir en todas las redes sociales como Liquid Nebula. Este viernes tenemos un restock a las 5 de la tarde en liquid-nebula.com.
Cancer.
You can find me aquí con ustedes en After School Club y en Cine Nerds, ¿cómo era? AV Club. Me puedes conseguir también. Perdóname. También me puedes conseguir en The Movie Guy, me puedes conseguir en Cine Podcast, que ya como en 2 semanas ya tengo un par de episodios sort of planned out un poquito, so I'm gonna start back up. Tiene una reseñita mañana de Thor para que puedan leer eso. Y ya, me puedes conseguir donde sea. Yo estoy realengo por ahí. I've just been a little busy. Sorry.
All right, Megs.
You can find me exclusively here on the After School Club, where we all have passionate discussions about the things we love, hate, and ignore. And that's about it.
Santa Cana. Santa Cana.
Santa Cana. You can find me in the plains of Cybertron. También me puedes encontrar en Instagram, Jordan Santa Cana. Y aquí en After School Club, hablando mierda con mis amigos. Pero ya.
All right, everybody. So yeah, XP in Bridgeport. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. We have content every Wednesday at the School Club. This Friday, we're going to be having an episode of Cine Nerds, the AV Club, where the crew is going to be talking about their favorite movies, their top 5 movies so far, as we're halfway into the year. And then we'll see you again next Wednesday with another episode of the After School Club at 8:30. And until then, mi gente, it is deuces. Enjoy the rest of your week.